Sparks Radio.
All right. We are back with a fresh episode of Wide World of Electronic Sports. I'm joined by the one and only Rodney Conyers Jr. How you doing, Rod?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Hey, no complaints. It is a Monday. Feels a bit like a Monday, but there is always plenty to catch up on from the weekend. And
That's facts.
You had some times away from home as well this weekend. I'm sure you can tell us plenty about.
Yeah, man. I mean, damn, I don't even really know where to start. You know, there's tournaments and events happening literally all the damn time in the Smash community. It's something that we all like to kind of poke fun at, but when you really look at it for what it's worth, there are just way too many goddamn events. But strangely enough, the big one that we're going to talk about this week, from this past weekend, wasn't on either circuit. So for those of us who don't know, Denny, myself, and Osip, he's not here right now. I'm sure he's at home watching. We have two circuits. We have the Smash World Tour, and then, of course, we have the Panda Cup. Smash World Tour is a worldwide circuit culminating over an entire year, going to various parts of the world, making sure that their local scene is shown just as much love as what we see in North America. Then there's the Panda Circuit. The Panda Circuit is partnered / backed by Nintendo / given the seal of approval. I don't really know what the relationship is, but Nintendo's rocking with it. And so from there, the community is kind of rocking with it as well. Only North American, but still, I think very important for the community as it stands. But Shine, one of the most legendary majors to pop up within the last 5 or 6 years, isn't on either of the two. It's just kind of doing his own thing. And this one happened up in New England. Well, it's a New England major, but it happens in Boston, which has now moved from Boston to Worcester, Massachusetts. Don't ask me to point where that is on the map because I went there and I still don't fucking know. But you know what? I mean, I think we should just start with Ultimate. First things first, of course, this one exists as its own thing. And honestly, despite us having so many damn tournaments this month, I feel like we've covered 3 Smash tournaments in the month of August and 4 platform fighting tournaments when you add Multiversus to Evo. This one stands on its own, which is very rare to see these days. Like, I'm so used to as a commentator and as a host, obviously with you, that, oh yeah, this tournament is a platinum tier stop. It's a gold tour stop. It's this many points. It's that, it's this. But Shine wasn't any of that. It was just his own thing. And honestly, it was nice to have something like that after, potentially, I don't know, 2 circuits that aren't going to go anywhere anytime soon. But it was a lot of fun. Ultimate was handled the way I anticipated it. We didn't have some of the biggest heavy hitters in the world, but we had some heavy hitters in attendance. We had Beast Coast's very own Cosmos, Moist Esports' very own Light, a.k.a. the protagonist, and of course we had TSM's Tweak, who, for those who don't know, has been kind of back and forth on his stance in the community, like emotionally, mentally. Again, it's very tough to be a top player to have to perform at this level every weekend, but ended up getting 4th, which I think is really good for him. I'm sure not where he would want it to be, but I would much prefer to see him get 4th than get whatever else he's been getting these last few events. It was a good day for the nation of Wakanda because a black man won Shine. Let me take you back. I feel like a black man was going to win Shine no matter what because Light is also African American and he was the other half of Grand Finals. So no matter what, Wakanda wins. But very good week for black people. We were winning tournaments and shit again, and it feels good. I've always felt like
out here shining at Shine. I see you.
Yes, sir, man. The rise and grind last week, and now it's the rise and shine, man. We gotta get our glow on, and I think we did that in a big way. Army of Techno said Cosmos played very well, and he did. Cosmos played completely out of his mind. Now, when I had originally met Cosmos, he had just moved actually to Ohio. He was living in Ohio for a little bit, from originally the DFW area of Texas, and I had always felt like he is he is almost like the top player professional gatekeeper. Like if you're on the come up and you got to start beating top players, you beat him first. Now, and I mean that as respectfully as possible because what happens sometimes is that he busts or sometimes he gets beat up, but then there's also times where he is the strongest player in the room. He almost has a little bit of like Gohan protagonist in him where like, he'll get beat up, but then there's like one or two episodes where he's just like whooping ass, and none of the other top players that you'll ever fight will be able to prepare you for what Cosmos is bringing. Maybe with the exception of Leo. And Cosmos tapped into that energy again. And he did a damn good job versus Light. Light playing a character like Fox, man, like that character is an absolute menace, especially piloted by somebody as quick as Light. And I gotta be honest, man, Cosmos made it look super easy this week. I don't know if it's just a matter of like practice or maybe the right combination of players were or maybe weren't there because we were missing like Spargo, MKLeo, Glutony, a handful of other players in the top five. He just was on another level of playing, bro. I don't know. Did you get a chance to see any of it?
I didn't get to catch majority of the main show, but I did catch a little bit of this match in the highlights this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, it seems like there's definitely a difference when you're not going through the gauntlet before getting higher up the bracket.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, seemed like he was playing pretty calm for the most part, especially against Light of all people.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that, man. Light, is just one of those character or one of those player slash character combinations where it's just kind of a match made in heaven. It's very reminiscent to like um Elegant and Luigi. Like, there's just some like really obscure characters. I'm saying obscure lightly because this is Fox and Super Smash Brothers for God's sake, but Fox is just not kind of what he used to be. I think the character's still good, but it's kind of just Light. And I think the way Light's brain works versus like how the character operates, it kind of just goes together. And it almost makes you question in what's in Light's head. Are you really playing Smash? Or are you kind of just playing a different game in your head and it's just translating out into Smash? I make the comparison to Elegant and Luigi because Luigi is kind of a touch of death character. He can go back and forth with you in the neutral, however so many exchanges, but sooner or later, he needs that grab that's going to transpire into death. And it almost feels like one side's playing a mini game while the other side is playing Super Smash Brothers. And I feel like that with Light. He's like, I need that Nair tech chase. I need that down air on your shield, something into that final hit. And I think that's something that Fox has always struggled with. Fox, with beyond a shadow of a doubt, can kill most characters in the cast with some relative ease. But he needs that one hit to open up that final hit. Where a character like Pyra and Mythra, what you're seeing here from Cosmos, Pyra, once the percent gets light, or excuse me, once the percent gets high, I'm no longer playing Mythra. I'm going to transform into the stronger of the two characters, and I'm just going to start swinging. Because at this point, I can go for trades. I can go, basically just to rush you down. I can try to, really force the advantage. And I think Cosmos just really leaned into all of that versus, Light. It was a great thing to see. Um, Obviously, Cosmos wasn't the only story. I mean, he won, but there's a lot of other really great matches as well too. Of course, Tweak, like I mentioned before, ended up getting fourth. It was really good to see him kind of tap back into that final form Tweak that we've grown to love. For those who don't know, Tweak is, kind of struggled a little bit here in Ultimate, especially since DLC has been out. In the beginning of Ultimate, he was absolute force. He was playing Wolf, he was playing Wario, he was playing Young Link, he was playing a whole bunch of characters, Pokemon Trainer, and you could make a solid argument. Not even an argument, like the stats show that he was second best in the world, and given the right circumstances, he could have been the best player. And I don't want to solely blame it on DLC because that, of course, discredits these other top players who are very good at what they do, even in other installments of Smash. But fact remains the same. Tweak is just not really where he's at or where he would like to be, but it's nice to see him kind of claw his way back into the conversation because I feel like people are so quick to write you off, Denny. You know this in the fighting game community is always, what have you done for me lately? You know what I'm saying? Like, you could be the best player, but you lose two tournaments or you bust a route and it's just like, all right, Rod and Denny are washed. They're not good anymore. We're moving on. And it's so
No,
fucked
so and
up.
so is still playing. You're like, bro, I was just at that tournament last week. Like, is this how you feel?
Man. It's so messed up. But I think Tweak did a phenomenal job. Zamba, can't ignore Zamba as well. The Prince of New York, but honestly, he's kind of the king of New York. And I'm saying that not as a jab at the Buzz, but the Buzz technically doesn't live in New York. The Buzz lives in this wonderful little area of New Jersey called Hoboken. He does go over to New York and he frees everybody up, but he's technically not living in New York. But I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go because I am a transplant myself here. I'm not actually from this area, so
Let's say,
I
are
don't
you over
really have
there?
a.
You coming for the New Yorkers? Tell them that they're not official. They're
I
not
mean,
from the
I don't.
borough.
Yeah. I mean, bro, like he's just kind of he's in Jersey, but I think at this point the Buzz is just kind of the Buzz, and he's obviously one of the best to ever do it. But Zamba, of course, played completely out of his mind. I believe he had a reverse 3-0 on Light. He was the one that put Light into losers. Um, and I was walking into the venue, coming back from a hotel room that I was just. That's a whole nother story for another day. But I'm leaving my hotel room and I'm walking to the venue and I see Light and Zamba get off stage. And I had missed literally everything. And I see Light's face and I'm like, I can't tell if this is the face of Stone Cold Killer or I just lost. So I kind of had to hang around the area for a little bit, like just kind of, keep my ear to the streets. And I'm like, okay, Light didn't win this. And then I heard that it was a reverse 3-0. And I'm just like,
Oh yeah,
oof, that's not good, man. That's not good at all.
yeah. Maybe it shook his confidence a bit. Even though he fought his way out of losers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking too. I mean, it's tough to consistently keep playing like this week in and week out, and Light being the best actual American player. Like I think the first three, Leo, Spargo, and Gluto, all representatives from other countries. Light is the best North American, or not North American, excuse me, United States player, and it might not seem like that's a heavy burden to carry or carry, but I really think it is. And this is one of the things I've always kind of I guess struggled with or went back and forth with when it came to these top players wanting to be number one. I'm like, I can't tell if you're going to have a worse time with being number one and being so afraid that somebody's going to take it from you versus I'm just right there and I keep getting to grand finals or I keep getting like third, fourth, what I'm saying, at these majors and I can't quite break into that first place spot. Like, I really feel like I'm never telling anybody to be content with what they got. Obviously, strive for more if you think you deserve more. But man, number one is a really dangerous position to have. You got a target on your back every week. Nobody's rooting for you really, unless like your character is cool. And even then, people still really ain't rooting. People want the upset. Like, do you really want that, bro?
Yeah, see, that's the part about Smash that always gets me a little bit because you'll have people that are character loyalists and then others that have a decent fan base, but at least in fighting games, when it comes to the Smash side of the community, it seems like with the frequency of events that there are every week, that everyone's kind of like it's like Game of Thrones out here. Like you might have some folks who are rooting for you until you get to that top eight, and then they're ready to switch the script on you
Yeah.
anytime. It's kind of wild.
And yeah, I mean, let's be real. Smashers just don't quite have the thick skin of like a K Brad or like a Smug or like a Ricky Ortiz or something. It's these very seasoned fighting game veterans. Like some of these guys and gals are very much on the internet, very much looking at the Twitch channel, very much, taking all that in before some of these matches. And, they of course take to Twitter really quick to vent. And then, I mean, let's be real, Danny, nothing good comes from venting on Twitter. Like you're just going to invite, I mean, today, bro, I invited the robots to my account, not even thinking, oh, hey, I need thumbnails made. And man, the minute I tweeted that, the
Oh
robots were
yeah,
just like,
well,
attack. He needs thumbnails, and we are here to send him feet pics and spam. Like, I didn't get not one real inquiry about, thumbnails. So, like, nothing good comes from, like, really being on Twitter at all. But I feel for these Smash guys and gals. I really do. I think, just to move on from that, of course, Zamba had a really great run. I know we talked about that. But also, um, on the topic of Melee, and I really wish Asif was here for this, but I know he's in the chat listening. Um, wow, Melee was just a crazy time. No surprise there. To me, it's like, look, bro, I'm gonna say this because it's you and me. I think Marvel versus
he
Capcom.
spoke and he shall arrive.
Oh, did I summon him?
It seems that way. Yes. Yes.
My webcam's doing that thing again, but I am here. Let me unplug and plug it in because
Oh,
apparently
yeah, I got to see your face for this one.
No, I know. What an awesome weekend Melee had, considering it wasn't. There we go. Hey guys,
There he is.
fresh off reporting the weather here in Canton.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Let's talk about Zan.
Ooh, let's talk about him.
How
He's
about
so good.
just shout out to Zan? I'm sorry that I've been mispronouncing your name for 2 years. I'm also Pakistani American, and I get my name mispronounced all the time. So when you're the best at something and you're still not getting like your name, like your given name shouted out right, it doesn't feel good. So props to Vish and Toph, who were on the table making sure that they said his name correctly. That was the first tournament where we've gotten to hear from Zan since he started correcting people. It was awesome. I thought, you know, this weekend highlighted how Melee will never go away.
Yes.
Because we got, and it's pouring rain outside right now. We got, obviously we have Zane. Who's the other guy who's in the grand finals with him?
I believe it was J-Mook, wasn't it?
J-Mook, that's right. Who, like, he's been in the scene for what, 3 years now, Rod? But, like, both these guys are kind of the younger new guard of Melee, in my opinion. And, like, they are causing problems for the old guard. I just think it's neat how, like, Melee has this, like, cycle. And we've talked about it in the past where, like, Mewtwo King kind of came up as a Marth, right? Obviously talented with every character in the game, but, like, kind of came up with Marth. Ken, the original, like, god of Melee, was a Marth main, and now we have this, like, third coming of Marth through Zane. And not everyone can play Zane, or not everyone can play Marth the way that these three players can.
That's right.
And it creates a problem for a Puff like HBox or a Sheik or a hell. Mewtwo King used to give Armada problems with his Peach. So, like, I think throughout history, the meta shifts not because of the game getting patched, because that hasn't happened.
Yeah.
No.
It's just like people come to the game, and Rod, like, you know that documentary, right? Like, that attracted a whole new group of players to the scene. And I think this weekend was one of those times where I was like, damn, there's like a Sheik and a Marth in a grand final here. It's not just Puff. It's not just Puff and Fox in the top 8. Like, Melee is different than it was 5 years ago. The scene is different.
It really is. And I think it kind of goes to show, and I'm glad you brought up the documentary, because I feel like sometimes when not you and I, but like when people talk about it, they're like, oh, you're a doc baby. You know, whatever. I'm like, no, there's nothing wrong with that. I think Smash being on the internet or having...
Baby? What kind of...
Yeah,
that's how toxic the scene is. Like, Denny, it's like super protectionist and all that, but like it's also silly because, like, you had like, I would say that with the advent of Metafy and the streaming and all these things, like the largest, like the big people in the Melee scene are not that. They're not calling people doc babies or anything. Mewtwo King's like teaching people how to play. Mango's just introducing people to the game because, like, they may follow Mango just for Mango's stream. And then they're like, oh, Mango's not streaming tonight. Where is he? Oh, he's playing Melee. Like, there's people out there who don't even realize that Mango's the best Melee player in the world, right? They just think he's like a great Smash player or something. Or, sorry, he's a great Rocket League player or variety streamer. So that's what's weird, is that the people who are protecting the scene are the ones who aren't even part of the scene. And I hate that aspect of it because it's unnecessary. Like, you want more people to care about your esport. You want more people to be a part of it. And, like, I know we already moved on from Cosmos, but, like, I saw some really shitty tweets from people like, is there anyone who actually likes Cosmos as a player? I was like, of course there's people who like Cosmos as a player. And, like, it's just like, it's a really shitty thing to say after a guy wins grand finals and doesn't lose a single set. That's the thing that happened this weekend, Rod. Neither tournament, the winners didn't lose a single set.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, not everyone was there. Leia wasn't there. Whatever. But like, there were still some players in there. Like you said,
Yeah.
Zomba was in there.
Mhm.
Tweak was in the bracket. Like
Tweak,
Tweak is a legit threat to win any tournament he enters.
he is.
And I
Tweak
thought
is
he
not to be
played.
taken lightly.
He didn't play confidently. Like you can tell when Tweak is confident, he's kind of quiet. He's not. He doesn't fidget as much. He was
Mhm.
standing up in between matches a lot of the time and like looking around. Like he just didn't seem like he was all there. And obviously, like he didn't have some of those people that he's used to seeing
Mhm.
in the top 8.
Mhm.
But yeah, like we did see a Rob in top 8. I'm gonna put
We
that
did.
out. Did we see a Steve?
No, we did not see any Steves. And the funny thing about Tweak too, I completely spaced on this, but so apparently, like Tweak doesn't have a coach, but he has a really, confident circle of, top commentators and other players that kind of back him up in his corner, which is good. I love that because as we know, the Smash community is toxic as all shit. And it's good to have positive people in your corner. Even after I've beat you or I've lost or whatever, I'm still giving you advice. So apparently at dinner, he was given the advice to go Wario, which Wario versus the Aegis. Wario, look, hold on a second. Wario versus Swordies is not what we need to do. Now, I'm never one to tell anybody how to live their life, especially as a commentator. I don't want to tell Tweet how to do anything, but I would have been more in the camp of believing that he would have won had he played Diddy Kong. Diddy Kong or Wolf, two very solid characters. Of course, I have the banana peel. I have all these other options. My aerials are very strong. I can get you off stage. I can keep you out there, but I can also ledge trap a little bit better. And I can just go toe to toe a little bit better. But
Didn't
I
he
have
also
the
pull out
ability.
the Pokemon trainer at one point?
I want to say he might have as well. There's a lot of Pokemon trainer this weekend. So I think Shine showed us a couple things. It gave us a lot of blast from the past type of play styles. Like we got to see different characters that we had not seen in a long time, different players in the top portions of bracket for both games.
Mm-hmm.
But we also got to see a tournament, not on either circuit, not to have any of those narratives attached. The players get to write the narrative for them this time. No, I'm playing for this many points. I'm trying to get to Panda Cup in December or World Tour. This is just a major. It stands on its own, and I'm gonna do whatever the fuck it takes to win. And it was very nice to see that again because I have not seen that in like what has it been 2 years?
And
Everything
Shine,
has a thing.
I think it was Shine 3 years ago that
Mhm.
Zayn kind of started his whole run as like becoming number one and beating some of the best players in the world. So like, so I just said Zan. God damn
Zan.
it.
It's
It's the
okay.
way he spells it.
Yeah.
Zan is spelled Z-A-N.
Mhm.
But I'm not going to argue with the man. It's his name. It's going to take a second to get used to
I was
that.
gonna say some adjusting.
But Zan, like, that was like, I think he kind of came full circle there from that first tournament where he kind of like showed up to now like this and I don't know if you talked about it, but like Zan had so many clutch game 5 performances that tournament. And so did Cosmos. Like these weren't just ass whoopings. Like they were very close sets and it just showed you like how close things can be. But yeah, Tweak did not seem like I think if you're showing up to a tournament with 4 different characters that you're playing, like you're in trouble because like there's going to be a situation where you pick the wrong one, and I think we saw that with Wario, and like also just when he was Wario, he had his WAP, and then like it like nothing was working out for him. Like if he threw the motorcycle on the stage, like it got thrown off the level almost immediately. I agree with what you said about Diddy, which is weird because Diddy is not really considered top tier. But I think if Tweak just ran with Diddy against Aegis, that he probably would have had a better chance in that. I want to say that was like, is it the semifinals? It was like top 5 or something. I can't remember where it was. But yeah, it was decent event. The actual venue seemed dead at times, Rod. I don't know if you can speak to that. Like, I don't know if it was just the time of day that Melee was happening, but or that Ultimate was happening that second day, but like it felt dead, like the
Yeah,
actual venue.
it did. And I think Worcester is not Boston.
No,
I know like it's always like we're just the New England major / Boston. You think I can go to all these areas, but in reality, we're really in Worcester, which isn't a bad area. It's a very pretty, very modern college town. It felt good, but it's not Boston. And I think maybe some people had a bit of an issue getting into it. I also know that there was a lot of hotel issues, not only just with myself, but really with a lot of the attendees. Apparently, the Holiday Inn, screwed Shine over. They had a contract with them, and then they decided to step out and back out at the last second. It was a whole thing, and so I know that a lot of people weren't able to stay where they wanted to stay comfortably. So
So
I
maybe
think
people are getting into the venue later than normal.
I
Because I
think
mean,
that's what
Smashers
happened.
already wake up late. So like,
Yes.
I saw like it was 1 or 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and I want to say that was the Smash Top 8 that was happening then, and it was like kind of dead. I was like, wow, there's no one there right now. So I think that definitely affects things. So versus the melee sets where the people were there by then. So it wasn't like there were no attendees. It just felt like the way that things were scheduled. And the inverse was true the day before,
Mm.
when it was what top 256 or whatever for melee was early in the day, and then ultimate was kind of in the evening. I tried to watch it both days. I thought it was decent. And then obviously like Mango kind of did that thing that I said Mango does. If he doesn't care, he's not going to win. It just didn't seem like if he's motivated, he's best player in the world.
Mhm.
I think he was motivated to get dinner yesterday.
Yeah.
Like he was tweeting about like when is I think he was talking about HBox. He's like, when is HBox gonna lose? I want to go get dinner. Like it wasn't like
Yeah.
he didn't care.
His head was just somewhere else. Mango is just one of those players where like you say, when his head and his heart's in it, he's a completely different beast. But like even him at his most tame and just most like I don't give a damn, he's still better than
Top
like
5,
90% of the player, which is
like
so
still
weird. It just
top 5.
Yeah, he'll still top five. I'm just always curious to see like what would have happened. Like if he just gave a shit for like 6 months. Like just give a damn for 6 months, man. I mean, we know what would happen because we've seen it happen before.
But he
But like,
does give a damn about the thing that's making him bank, and that's being a streamer.
that's
And
right.
like he is very good at that. The dude's got thousands of subs, right? So like every day he doesn't do that, he is kind of sacrificing his own money for the scene. Like I really do look at him as like he's an elder statesman of the melee scene now, and he is kind of contributing his time to this like to the scene. He could easily make more money elsewhere. So I think that motivation that other players have probably doesn't reside in his head anymore. Like they're not, unless it's a summit, right? Like I think Mango shows up for summits because there's like an actual bag at the end of that.
A big one too.
You know what I mean? It's like we talked about like Tweak won 50K earlier this year, and it's probably more than Leo has won the entire year combined,
Yeah.
just from one thing. So I think like that's part of this issue here. But yeah, like I think Zan just wanted it. Like Zan
Yeah.
wanted it more, and it showed up. But yeah, like J-Mook's also awesome. Like we haven't seen a Sheik play this well in melee in a long time.
Really since like Plup, honestly, and even, just saying the word Plup is kind of mind boggling because we haven't seen much of him as of late. But
Mm-hmm.
and of course, like if Plup, if you're listening to this and you're going through something and
I
obviously
thought he
handling
was he there this weekend?
I don't think Plup was there this weekend. I don't
Okay.
remember seeing him. And so I think, to retouch on like the whole Doc Baby thing, like I think it gets a bad rep by like these losers in the community trying to gatekeep Melee, one of the greatest esports ever. We actually need to embrace the fact that there's content out there that can show people that it's not impossible to become this big and strong. In fact, I would almost argue that it was a little bit harder back then, not because of technology or whatever, but there was just significantly less players. And the guys and gals that were good, you had to do a lot of traveling to get to. Now there's so much information, so much way to get better. Flippy, like you said, Medify, all these things. And we need to embrace the fact that we can get new people into the community. I think Zan and of course J Mook and Plup and a handful of other individuals are prime examples of that. Like Marth and Sheik. Now, in Ultimate and Smash 4 specifically, the meta changes so many weeks to so many months. Patches come out, characters find weird things and glitches in the game that we didn't know existed, but Melee has been the exact same as it's always been. But the meta is like slowly but surely inching into a different direction. Marth and Sheik, and not only just Marth and Sheik in a bracket where Hungrybox and Mango both exist very prominently. They're both gunning for that spot, and a Marth won it. This is absolutely insane. I don't think people think how insane, like they don't know. I
And
know
like
Axe
you know,
knows. I know we brought him up. He, of course, had his whole arc. He's going through. So look,
Axe might
does
be
this.
too nice. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Axe may be the nicest person to ever play Melee.
Yeah, he has this good guy thing, and it's like, and I interviewed him actually, I think at Low Tide City. We talked for like a brief second because he was warming up a different character, not Pikachu, for bracket. I was like, you're almost too nice, and I almost feel like it shouldn't be in this community. Like this type of behavior needs to be somewhere else. You need to be like, you need to have a job nursing children or something, like being nice to animals or something. Like this is not where you need to be. And then sometimes his nice tweets come off as a little bit too much. Like I remember when Ultimate was coming out, he kept tweeting, like I think he tweeted like 2 or 3 times, I will never give up Melee for Ultimate. I love Melee so much. I'm like, all right, man, we don't need tweets like that, but we do need other good guy tweets. And I know he had a small thread just the other day about like Marth and his matchup spread and knowledge versus him and how much it took to finally take him down as the Pikachu. And I'm just like, yeah, I get it. You still lost, but you're still the best Pikachu to ever do it. Let's just make sure we give Zen his flowers and then let's go about our business. So, but the homie stock, Asif, I'm not about that. I'm not a homie stock guy.
I'm sorry. Like, I don't get it. I get it in a friendly. I get it on stream. I get it on a lot of different places. But you're in top 4. And it wasn't a glitch or something. Like, it was a bad input by Jmook.
Yeah.
That's all it was. I've seen countless fighting games, their sets completely flip over on their head because of a bad input. So yeah. I'm just like, and it was game 1. And like, if you actually like took that as an opportunity to tilt Jmook, that set could be completely different.
Could have went a different way.
Like, I don't know if you saw Jmook after that first game. Like, he was angry with himself. Even though he won, he's like, it shouldn't have even come to that. Mm-hmm. And I think that like activated him even more. Like, he is one of those younger players who's definitely playing with emotion still. Mm-hmm. And like, it's like you showed, I don't want to say kindness is weakness, but in a fighting game, it kind of is. So like, I feel like the minute that Axe did that, I was like, oh, Axe is going to lose this set.
Yeah, that was very foolish. I would not have done that. And I've seen other top players do that in the past. I think I've seen it at Genesis. I want to say it was like, I can't remember who it was. I'm just going to say Plup, but it might be somebody else.
Was it that high in the bracket? Was it top 4?
It was actually pretty high into the bracket. Okay. I remember sitting in the theater and I'm thinking, the homie stock, this whole like nice guy thing, like it needs to stop. And I'm not saying it like because we don't need nice people in the community. I love the fact that Axe has chosen to be this positive force in a time in a community where that's not really highlighted as much. But dude, a homie stock, no man,
cheering for the dude. Like who wouldn't want to see a Pikachu take home a Melee tournament? That never happens, especially Axe. So like he had this really nice run, in the losers side of the bracket, and I was pulling for the dude. So to see him like do something like that, I was just like, I was taken back by it.
Maybe he was just confident. Like I know this matchup on Pikachu, like boom, 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 but I personally couldn't have done it.
Going back to the discussion about the Melee shift in the meta, I think it's entirely tied to the players, right? Mm-hmm. So like there are certain characters just fit certain play styles, and Zan's play style fits Marth like a glove. I think Jmook with Sheik, like perfect, right? And then we're seeing a lot of Falcon, right? Mm-hmm. Like we're seeing S2J. We saw Salt. I know None plays as Falcon some of the time. So like we're seeing like just as the ebb and flow of the scene goes, characters are kind of having their run again just because players fit that character. Yeah. So I think the best player in the world playing a Falcon, you're probably not even going to place top 8 most of the time, just because of the way that the characters line up in Melee. Like Falcon is, I don't know. I haven't looked at a tier list in Melee in a long time, but Falcon's not top 4. Like you can get into the top 4 of a tournament if you're lucky, but like, it's been Puff, it's been Fox. Occasionally we see a Peach here and there. I know Laud's probably the best Peach in the world now. Obviously, Armada was Peach, but when Armada was king or queen, like there wasn't another Peach. You know what I mean? So like, uh, I think it speaks to how the individual is tied to the character in Melee more than most other games. Like you look at Ultimate, conversely, like Tweak had 4 characters. DeBuzz, God, how many characters does DeBuzz play with these days? You
I'm
know,
losing track. It's insane.
even Leo, even MK Leo, the best player in the world, who's his main?
Hmm.
Yes, it's Aegis. Oh yeah, Cosmos in that post game interview when he said he literally just copied Leo. I love that. I love the honesty from Cosmos. He's like, I saw Leo doing this last week, so I just decided to copy it. And I was like,
Yeah.
nice.
Hey, sometimes just got to keep it real, and I love that Cosmos is obviously living out his truth. But yeah, I think also too, like just with characters like Falco, Fox, and Puff specifically, like we know what those characters do. I think Melee is not a game of like, I don't know what these characters do. Is I know what they can do, and it's so polarizing in most of the matchups in the game. How do I stop it? Where I think Ultimate's a little bit different. It's like I don't really know what this character does, but I'm kind of an okay player, so like I can figure out a way to cheese and combat it. It's like, no, it's coming in Melee. What do you do to stop it and fight back?
Yeah.
And I feel like some of the other characters have, I'm not going to say they haven't been represented well, because they certainly have throughout the decades, but I think we're starting to reach an era where like we know the Fox matchup just as good as the guy playing Fox. I know how to work around some of the BS. I know Shine is invincible on activation and then like comes out or active on frame 2 or some crazy shit. Like I know it's insane. I know what Falco can do. I know what Falco wants to do. I know what Puff wants to do. There's enough Hungry Box footage out there to know he's the only Puff doing it at this level on a consistent basis. I'm going to figure out how to stop this, even if I'm not playing a character that is deemed top 3 or 4 in the game.
But even if you watch Mango and HBox this year compared to like 3-5 years ago, they are playing those characters differently.
They are.
It used to be kind of a campier style, especially from HBox. Like floating there on the right, doing his back air. Same thing with Fox on the other side, but with shooting lasers occasionally. So like it's become a little more in your face from both of them over the past 5 years. So I agree. Like you can go watch the tape and you can just run it with, I saw so many people tweeting out, hey, can someone run a Puff with me on these hand warming stations before my next match? Like people can go in there and they can practice for that next fight. But yeah, like I'm way more interested in Melee than I am Ultimate now. Because there's like actually not new characters, but there's new players popping off. And of course, I'm all about Pakistani guys winning, so I loved seeing Zan win again. I think like when he's on, he's definitely the best player. And you can say that about him and Mango and even HBox at times. Like HBox, like when he brings his A game, he's still one of the best in the world. So I think it's a higher level of play every weekend that there is a Melee tournament. There aren't always Melee tournaments when there's Ultimate tournaments either. So
that's true. I think the number of standalone Melee majors have significantly gone down throughout the last so many years. And what's really funny about that is I remember there was a time where we wanted to do Smash 4 majors separate from Melee. It was always it's always Melee in the new game. So it's Melee and Brawl. Unless it was an event like Skatar or like Zenith or something like that. Like it was always Melee and then the new game, the little brother has to come too. And then the 2GG events started to pop off, which was fine. Those were more so like super regional / mini majors, and there's a series of them. But I think the one that really pushed the advantage was Frostbite. Frostbite obviously happening in the same era that the Big House happens in, but just being strictly Smash 4, and then of course being also strictly Ultimate. I think other TOs started to realize we don't need Melee as much. And then we realized, wait a minute, there aren't really a lot of Melee standalone majors. They've always partnered. I think on the Panda Cup, there's a Saving Lombardi, which is the answer to whatever before or after Ultimate only major event that they have. So there's one happening at this level of like play. But like I would like to see more standalone Melee events. I know Ultimate brings the numbers, but fuck, Melee's so good.
Ultimate brings the entrant numbers, but you're talking about Twitch concurrent views, Melee all day, every day, almost twice the viewership. And like honestly, I think in the FGC people probably have a little bit more respect for Melee than they do these other Smash games because they've seen them come and go. Where like Melee's still here, you know, and those like there is
Well,
a
yeah,
history
there's
there.
definitely a factor where, like you guys have mentioned, when characters are less of, the dominant reason why people are playing something, and it comes down to more to players.
Hmm.
A lot of fighting game players can relate to that. I mean,
Yeah,
the scenes
I
for Street Fighter 4's CVS2, people
Mhm.
are getting new in the scene, and they bring new, play styles or perspective to the character, or, the gameplay, and it
yep.
refreshes the scene in a way for games that have been out forever.
That's what I think we're witnessing right now in Melee. And like I think calling people doc babies just goes against that. Like we should be welcoming in anyone. If you watched a YouTube video and that convinced you to pick up Melee and become one of the best in the world, that's a
Yeah,
great
like become
story.
good. Like what?
Yeah. That's a great
Imagine like
story.
someone trying to shame you for
Yeah.
learning about something that was before your time and then actually getting good at it.
It's some gatekeeper bullshit, man. Like there's no need for it to
It's
be
like
in a
me
scene like that.
watching like old videos of like Walter Payton or something, and then going
Yeah.
and making it to the league, and having people saying, "Oh, well, this guy here, he watched some ESPN clips and decided
Yeah.
to score touchdowns. What do you think
Yeah.
this is? Like what?"
It's like, oh, this guy liked Joe Montana. What a loser. It's like
Right.
it's like what?
Well,
He had a television on in the 80s.
now on the opposite end, we also had another ultimate event.
Why?
Surprise! So,
Why?
well, this one
Stab
happened
me in
over.
the eyeballs. God, enough. And it
I
was in
know.
France because
Yeah,
it's
it was
really cheap to get to France to play Ultimate.
I don't know how these players are doing it. I mean, I guess if you're sponsored, then
If you
sure, but
have an
like,
org backing you, it's usually free to go there. They pay for your
Yeah, for
hotel
that
or your
amount of
flight.
money, I guess.
yeah. Well, Zachary won, which is a name that really just a sentence that we haven't had to say in a long time, but he won. He with Joker too, which reinforces the idea that maybe Leo needs to start playing Joker more. He made some of the other Japanese players in bracket look very silly. Riddles went representing North America, specifically Canada, but Base Mage and Fatality both went. And this was just a very
What is this? What was this called?
this one was called Wanted.
Wanted 4, right?
Yeah, so this is the forefront, and this one was actually a platinum tier stop on the Smash World Tour. Not very many of those, so France was able to squeeze one out, and I thought it was
Interesting.
pretty cool. But damn, there's just so many goddamn events.
It's also like I see T was there, Shuton was there. Japan showed up.
They did.
And I have friends that live in Japan. They flew from Michigan to Japan last week. It's mom, dad, 2 kids. Every single one of them got COVID.
Jeez.
Japan is a dumpster fire of COVID right now.
Oh my
Like
god.
Yes, there's
it
definitely
is
rising numbers.
highest cases they've had in the entire pandemic right now. Omicron is running roughshod over there. So for 3 of the best Smash players in the world to hop on a plane from Japan to France, I don't know if that was the best idea, but you know what? They won some money.
Good hype for Tokyo Game Show. So.
I
That's true.
know, Denny, Tokyo Game Show is going to be happening as these cases are skyrocketing. So Godspeed to anyone who's going to TGS. I love TGS. Like low key, my favorite thing I ever go to because they have this. And I haven't seen it post COVID, but they have this schedule where the first 2 days, I think it's Thursday, Friday, are
Mhm.
business days. No, not open to the public at all, and then Saturday and Sunday open to the public. So like, I got my shit done on those first 2 days, and then you didn't have to really worry about the
Yeah.
200,000 people that show up for it. But yeah, like I don't know if a bunch of Japanese players hopping on a plane to France is the brightest idea right now, but you know what? Hey, good on them because they dominated. They're the
Yeah.
top 3 here.
I mean, I thought that was pretty insane, and to see Zachary kind of pop back into prominence definitely feels good because I feel like so many people kind of wrote him off, and they thought, well, if he comes back, it's kind of a different era of Smash, so he was competing in way more DLC, and I'm like, what do you think he's going to do when he gets here? You think he's just going to fucking play Rob again? I mean, I'm sure he's going to play Rob, but
He played
once
Rob.
he's going to pick up some funky characters too. And of course, it wasn't anything too crazy. It was just Joker, which we see a billion of, but he made it look really damn easy, which kind of freaks me out because I've always thought Zachary what hurts Zachary is his ability to come over to the United States and play more. But of
Mhm.
course, there are very strong players in Japan. But I think given enough practice and polish of him playing against Spargo, Gluto, Leo, Light, guys like that over and over, he might be able to be number one. It's very possible.
I mean, I'm looking at the notable entrants from Liquidpedia, and yeah, there's decent players. Like Lutiny was there, Riddles was there, T, Shuton, Chag was there. Uh, Leo wasn't,
Yeah.
but Mr. R was there. You know, so you got some of those Euros that may not make it over here too often. So I get why the event happened in the case of like if you're a European who has been dying for an event. Seeing Fatality go there with his Falcon is something else. Uh, I think MVD was a late scratch. Yeah, it wasn't that. I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to dog the player pool there. It was a decent player pool, but you look at the who placed where. Shuton playing Alamar, Aegis, and Steve.
Mhm.
He Pac-Man main, but also plays Kazuha now.
Mhm.
Riddles Terry and Kazuha main, which is bizarre.
Yeah.
But yeah, not the way everyone was talking like 4 weeks ago, it was like every top 8 was going to be Steve from here out.
Mhm.
And so far, like ever since the whole community shit itself over Steve, the Steve hasn't won a single tournament. So I think that may have been an overreaction. And to your point about Zachary not being really in the tournament scene for the past like however many DLC characters, doesn't mean he stopped practicing, and it doesn't mean he's like bad. Like I think everyone overblew the nerfs to Joker. Joker still has that for Arsene. Like
Yeah.
there's Joker, and then there's Joker with Arsene, and
Yeah.
you have that little meter that tells you I'm about to whoop your ass for this long whenever Arsene is activated. And I just think that like on levels where you can't hide from Arsene,
Mhm.
that character is still a force to be reckoned with. Uh, but yeah, it seems like there were mild nerfs there that have driven other players away. I think Leo probably plays better with Aegis 9 times out of 10 right now.
I
Uh,
think so too. I think he does play better with ages. I'm still in the camp of believing Joker, just the way he's equipped, his frame dotted, the way he's designed. I think he's still the best character in the game, but of course, you don't want to have to fight against the statement of Pyro and Mythra being better actually in bracket. You know, you want to practice it and, you want to make sure that you have the data that supports that theory. And I'm sure Leo's just not willing to take that risk in mid bracket. But I think more than anything, Arsene, but also campy as Arsene guns is something that I think Leo, and again, this is not me giving him any advice, but I think Arsene with guns is the
I'm glad
campy
you.
most
I'm glad.
bullshit thing ever. It's the best character in the
I'm
business.
glad you brought up the gun because like, that is to me like what makes Joker better than a lot of other characters. The gunplay,
Mm-hmm.
and it's something that you don't see a whole lot because Joker's kind of fallen off. But like it's like we said earlier, like these characters are going to keep falling off, but then a player is going to pick them up and elevate them. And Game 4 Leo kind of was tied at the hip with Joker
Yeah,
because the comebacks that you saw, those happened when our son was activated, you
it's
know?
true.
And like I think he's lost something without that character. And that's not to say he's outstanding with Rob, he's outstanding with Aegis, like he's very good with a lot of different characters. Uh I don't think he's picked up Diddy yet. But I'm curious to see if Diddy, because I was watching Tweak play with Diddy this
Hmm.
weekend, and Diddy's legit. Diddy is
Yeah,
still legit. And I know Diddy got hit with nerfs almost as hard as Bayo did, but like Diddy seems like a viable player, a character that the right kind of player. Tweak's the perfect player to mess with Diddy, because he's used to the gimmicky Wario stuff, and I think the banana and Diddy. Can you explain the banana to me, Rod? Like why? Like does hitting someone with the banana, that's good. Throwing it up in the air, what does that do?
I don't know exactly what it does when you throw it in the air.
It's
Maybe.
a cool animation.
Well, I think that I also think sometimes it causes a bit of a mix up too. Like, and so in the actual match, like I throw it in the air, it's like, am I gonna? Are you gonna try to stop me from getting it? It almost kind of pulls you out of the corner because a lot of times what happens with Diddy Kong in those matches is that it just becomes a game of chicken that you're not winning anymore because Diddy Kong is out buttoning you. So I can't anti-air Diddy because forward air is this fat. His legs are basically swords. If I get hit with nair, especially at low percents, it's nair into something. Back air chains. If we're low enough on the ground and I'm down, or if I'm back airing you or forward airing you, I can now get down tilt, which will lead into grab, forward throw, you're off stage. So the banana peel is almost like a threat. It's like, I'm not actually going to do anything to you, but I know you probably want to stop the idea of me doing it. Come get close and see if you can. And I've always hated that because even back in Brawl, he had 2 banana pills. And I'm like, this is fucked.
Yeah. It's kind of like the motorcycle where it creates this game within the game and it distracts. It's more of like a distraction than it is anything else. Because I know the characters try to get the banana and throw it off the stage to fuck with Diddy. And I guess it's kind of like Peach too. She has that the turnip that she throws at people. And I guess Rosalina too, a little bit. But like it gave me shades of watching Zero play extremely high level with Diddy back in Smash 4. But yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't watch this other tournament because it was in France and I don't care.
You're okay. I mean, I watched very little of it too. I mean, I'm stuck in, Worcester in my hotel.
When was it?
I think it was just a Saturday, Sunday thing. I don't think it was 3 days. But actually, let me double check because if it's a platinum stop, it might have
25th through the 28th, so it was a
3-dayer.
Yeah, a 4-dayer.
Oh wow.
And that prize pool was $9,300, $93.86 and 32 cents.
Okay. I mean, I think if you're sponsored and you can afford to get over there, the money definitely makes sense. But I think
more of an international crowd, I guess, is probably more reasonable. But yeah,
and that's cool. Like, I get that aspect of the Smash World Tour, and I appreciate what Gimmer and the folks are doing on that front. Like, it is good. And you got the Europeans there, and you got the Japanese players there. And then Zachary and Shutan also placed second in the doubles tournament.
Yeah.
But
I think it's good to have that type of, representation. Again, I still think it's the most clown shit ever that we have, 2 tour circuits, and technically a third one if you count some of the BTS stuff. Like, I'm not happy that they exist, or not. I'm not upset that they exist. I just think
I watched Shine this weekend on the BTS Smash Twitch channel. Was that run by the Summit company?
Yes, so they outsourced. So the first 3 shines, I believe, were all streamed by VG Boot Camp. So 16, 17, and 18 were VG. I want to say either 2018 or 2019 were then streamed by BTS. So it's not, but I don't think that was the reason why they weren't on the circuit, because there have been other BTS streamed events on the Smash World Tour. I just feel like
that was my question.
They got on late or something happened and they were just like, hey, we're just got our own thing this year, which is weird because Shine is Shine. Like, how?
It seems weird considering like how large it appears, and it was on that channel and they had the Papa John's money there. And I was just like, it's just weird. It's weird because like I'm
not going to keep tap dance for Papa John's either, by the way. Like, I do it because I'm on commentary, but like,
did you like my tweet at you?
Listen, Asif, I'm having a really hard time tap dancing for some of this stuff. Like, Papa John's, like, when I'm on commentary, I don't ever get any pizza.
Ooh, I sent that WB frog to fly.
Just not to tangent too much, but the commentators too out there that are like pretending to like games for the goddamn money. I was like, doesn't it ever get tiring? Don't your tap dancing shoes ever like wear out? Like, if you don't really like this shit, move over and let somebody who really like it.
You feel me? You're not gonna get a Shackaroni?
I can't do it anymore. I'm sorry.
Shaq pulled up and was like, "Yo,
you're tired of acting like Papa John's isn't complete trash."
I like Papa John's crust, but I've been out here in Tri-State.
You like the crust?
I'm a pizza snob
that
now.
Dry ass crust.
You see, we're diving into sauce talk, and it's
I know.
into a travesty right in front of our eyes here, because my man's just admitted
we'll never get our Papa John's sponsorship now.
Are you one of those people who's like getting the Papa John's like garlic butter or whatever, and is like slathering it on there.
And what are they? I don't even. I'm in the community. I don't even know what they're doing. And I'm saying this as respectfully as possible. That I'm sure they might be funding some things or whatever. All I know is that when I went to Shine this weekend, I had 3 people in my hotel room. Very strange. All right.
How
Now
many
I'm just
beds?
gonna 2 beds.
Wait,
2 beds, 3
hey,
people
Rod,
in one.
I got a question. Does it make sense for a community where there's been actual sexual harassment and assault occurring in hotels? Does it make sense to make people sleep in the same bed?
It does not. It
That
doesn't make
seems
any
like
sense.
maybe this scene outside of every scene in the world would realize, hey, maybe we don't put 2 people in a bed.
Yeah, and I thought it was the weirdest. Like, again, I don't want to dunk on Shine because I feel like when you work the event, you cannot judge like the quality of the event based off of like what you've
Sure.
done because the attendees come first. But
Yeah.
I'm working on the back end, and I'm like, okay, I came here, I asked to come last second. That's fine. Shine, great major event. I'm working a little bit under rate. That's okay too. I asked to come super late, and they had to figure out a way to force me in. Fine. And then I get to my room, and I'm like, I am 3 people in one room, and then
Did you
I'm
get a
also
cot? Were you able to get a cot?
no. We just had to bunk up fucking Vietnam style, like so,
Oh my
just 2 people in one bed.
god.
Yeah, so fun. I'm just like,
Oh
Sold to
no.
you, man. I'm out. That's fucking
listen,
Mark Cuban. For that reason, I'm out.
oh god. And I literally I talked to the commentary manager about it though. Him and I talked, and he didn't mean anything malicious by it. He did not.
No,
And
clearly not. But like, still, what kind of this is? If this is the
it,
summit, if this is the Summit production company, right,
well,
financing this,
I,
and
I
they
don't know.
have $150,000 prize pool for their summits in SoCal, right? I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe take 500 off of that. Get Rod his own damn bed. I'm just
Well,
saying.
and I don't know exactly
Like,
what
there's
Summit's
money.
goal
Like, you
is.
cannot have Papa John sponsoring your shit and be like, "Oh, we don't have enough money to pay for a hotel room for you, bro." It's like, come
Listen,
on, come
thank
No,
you,
they
because
on.
want
I'm
they
like,
wanted
I'm
they
not
wanted
gonna
Rod to
keep.
wear a mask while he's laying next to somebody in bed. You
Jesus.
know.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for pointing out. There's also COVID's still a thing. Like, it's still
And
out there.
Like get
I'm
some
like,
get some extra blankets in there for
it's
separation.
insanity. It's insane, guys. I'm tap dancing for Papa John's, who I don't mind because like it helps these tournaments. But I'm like, I'm sharing a bed with another 30-year-old man. Like I haven't had to share a bed since like I was 22 in the community. I'm 30 now. What do I look like waking up nape to nape with some other man? Like this is so weird. I don't mind sharing a room. I
Oh,
don't mind that.
I get
But
that. I
sharing
get
a
that.
bed,
I get, like,
a bed,
sharing rooms happens. But
yes,
usually, everyone who's in that room gets a damn bed. Uh,
yes.
it's fucked up, man. That's so
It
fucked
was
up.
it was very weird. I'm like, I am tap dancing for companies on stream, and I can't even get my own bed. We can't even get enough money for people to have their own bed. And I'm sure whoever's going to go back and listen to this is going to say, well, you should just be thankful and grateful and blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
That's not
look,
how this
I've been
works.
commentating for almost 10 fucking years, and I've worked literally every major event. This is way past the whole you should just be grateful. That's why I'm on bed. I'm 30. That's all. That's all.
That's not. It's not that crazy of an ask. that's like.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
like
like
a pretty.
I understand the attendees coming first or whatever,
Sure.
but
Yes.
there's still everyone involved to make an event happen.
Yeah.
You know, the
You gotta treat
people
your
involved in
talent
the
right.
event, like that's something that's important.
You gotta
And
treat your talent right. That's just messed up.
It's so
yeah,
weird. Now, on the topic of Summit, I want to shift focus over to our good old friend Ludwig. So Ludwig, just the other day, was swatted, friends. Which, if you watch streamers out there, Twitch chat, then you know that this thing happens to the best in the world. It's happened to Dr. Lupo. I think it's happened to Dr. Disrespect. It's happened to a lot of people and other people who don't have the word doctor in front of their names. It happened to Ludwig, and it's so messed up because this means, and Austin brought up a really good point this morning. This also means that whoever had you swatted knows exactly where you live. Okay. And that is the most terrifying thing you could ever have as a person at Ludwig's level of life.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. No, I dropped a link in our chat. Our
There it is.
Yeah, it was God. I think I wrote that article, or probably. Yeah, I wrote that. It was 2018. Meg Turney and Gavin Free uh, were victims of a home invasion. A
Mhm.
person came into their house, was going through their things. The person had a weapon.
Yeah, I remember that
So
story.
yeah, it also, I think, Gila and Ethan from the H3 podcast, they were
Mhm.
swatted a few years ago. It's scary stuff, you know, and even in Ludwig's story, what he had to say about his cat getting out. Like, it's like these cops, they leave every door open. Like, they don't treat you right at all because they think you're someone who deserves to have the SWAT called on them.
Well, let's just say
Uh,
the cops aren't treating people rightly in general, not even just in
yeah,
terms of swatting.
yeah. Let's
If
just
you look at
say
any
that
body cams,
The LAPD has a checkered past when it comes to human rights violations.
That they do.
I think that's a fair way to put it. Uh, yeah. Um, I'm happy he didn't get his ass beat or shot. Uh,
Yeah.
all it was a conversation that was awkward. They did take him out to the car because he was suspected of killing someone. Apparently, uh, he was streaming a chess tournament.
yeah.
Like, I I wish that cops would actually go look at what's happening to you on stream before they consider this. I did get some, you know, I do remember when Etika had the cops called on him a few times. It's fucked up, man, and it can cause people to have mental breakdowns and just also be really stressed. Oh yeah, the cops fell through his ceiling
That's some
during
Rainbow
their
Six shit here. Like, what's going on?
no, like they're so fat and heavy that they literally fell through his ceiling. That's where they record their podcast, I guess. So they're gonna pay to fix his ceiling.
Well,
That's
It's
so horrible.
they like, but like, why did I don't understand this shit? I like, what is causing people to feel like why? Why would you do this?
I
Like,
mean, some people out
what?
there are sociopaths, and there's also people that just don't take things like this seriously.
They're
They think that they're
kids.
just like they don't register that this is actually someone's life that they're playing around with. They
Hmm.
think it's
They're
just
kids.
a extremer version of trolling,
Yep.
basically, and it's not registering to them that hey, these people are coming in here with live weapons, ready to take someone out if they feel like there's any kind of threat.
Yeah.
It's just
The,
insane. And the fact that, like, God forbid, Ludwig was actually like hurt during this. A content creator of his level hurt by the police. It would be an absolute shit show all over again on the internet.
I mean,
Like an
especially because
actual
he's white.
squatting. Yeah.
That
Like
would be
it.
even
Oh
more
God.
shocking.
All hell would
But
break loose. It would be bad.
like with that hair, no. I'm just saying, like he's, I actually, he's a great content creator, and he's been really good to the Smash scene. He's never forgot where he came from, all that stuff. But like, I thought he was remarkably chill about this. I don't think I would want to live in that house if I had been swatted multiple times there.
Well, I wonder if
No.
he's going through the process because a lot of streamers, especially larger streamers, especially if you've had a situation like this happen before, they actually have they talk with the police department to have a report put in that
Hmm.
hey, I'm a content creator. There is a
Yep.
threat of swatting happening here or some kind of situation like that. So
Yep.
so that like, people read that report and that address before
He
calling out the team and stuff like that.
in the video he says he's done that and that he
Yeah,
gave them his phone number and everything, and they said that they would call him in advance. But the problem is the chain of command, the way things work over at the LAPD and most police departments, there's someone on the phone who answers the 911 call, and then there's someone who dispatches it, and then there's the people in the force that actually are going to the scene. And none of them have that one note that the one person at the police department took about Ludwig,
yeah.
right?
There has to
So
be a
like,
different process that goes into
yeah.
effect at some point that needs to
He
be
was
something that's
talking about
nationwide.
he's talking about getting a welcome mat for his doorstep that
Oh
says,
my god.
"Hi, I'm Ludwig. I'm a content creator. If you're a police officer that's sent here with a SWAT team, please give me a call here before breaking down my door."
It's insane. Now, also, not to change the subject too much, but I feel like this is a little bit of like breaking news in esports, and I don't want to dive too much into it because it's kind of a weird topic. But apparently, and this goes back into the whole content creator slash gamer houses need to die. They don't need to exist anymore. Okay,
What
And I
happened
think
now?
something has happened at the 100 Thieves house where Nade Shot had to go live on Twitch just a little bit ago to talk about Frosty, I think is his name, Frost.
Oh boy.
He's being, I don't know exactly what he's being accused of because this was just brought to my attention, but he's done something in the house. And now they're both going live, going back and forth about what's true and what's not true.
They're going live together?
Well, no, Nade Shot just went live and he's actually done. Now Frosty is live as of 20 minutes ago, and he's talking about, he has tweets pulled up on his Twitch, and he's, I guess, addressing them, question mark. There's 24,000 people in here.
Jeez. Something must have
I
went
worked at the
down.
agency who hired the mob for a $200,000 deal, and I can confirm that Nate Shot's objective account went down. Source: I ran the campaign. Who's the mob? Is that another content creator?
I'm not familiar with that. With that kind of viewership, there must be some kind of
Former mob member Frost. Mob must be it was a group of 100 thieves guys. Okay, former mob member Frost has spoken up about his past situation with 100 thieves, saying they were paid less than their rent was. 100T took 95% of the
Good lord.
sponsorship deals that they brought to the mob, money being a real issue for these guys, among other things. So I think that's what you're talking about when it comes to gamer houses, Rod, is that they were not even making enough from their 100 Thieves deal. So I think this comes down to compensation of streamers who are on the 100 Thieves label. This is just me reading. Uh, yeah, this 100. Zach from Twitter Gaming. He has
Mm-hmm.
tweeted out the 100 Thieves mob drama is or already has blown the door off a lot of misconceptions with signing to an esports org, the economics involved, and much more. I doubt the dust will settle anytime soon, and others will no doubt share their experiences across the industry. Yeah, I think a problem with a lot of young people who sign up with these orgs is they don't have an agent, they don't have lawyers, and they just want to be part of the team.
Yeah, there's none of that happening.
Yeah.
It's them seeing the faces of a
You
team
know,
and
oh,
thinking,
I
"Hey, I
want to
want to
be
be
on
part of that."
Phase or I want to be on 100T, so like it's a dream come true for them, so they don't care about the details. Uh, so Nate Shot doesn't seem to be the kind of person who would lie publicly about this.
Yeah.
But why
But
is this coming out now? I mean, is it a situation where he can speak about this stuff now because it's far enough past his contract, or are they just having a situation where it's someone was
I think it's
unhappy?
damage control.
I think so too. I think at this point he knows that, okay, if I've put these people on my team in any capacity, they're going to blow up, they're going to get a following, and they're accusing me of basically not handling them properly, which is strange because, again, 100 Thieves, despite them doing all this other type of cool content, they very much pride themselves on their players, how they look, how they act, and how they carry themselves. And to have somebody at this level call them out, I think definitely says a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Not
saying.
exactly
Like,
sure what.
how deep are they in the team? Because sometimes there's situations where you sign things where you can't say anything
Mhm.
until a certain period of time has passed after your initial deal is done. So I'm not sure if there's a situation where
So
he says either screw it and
I'm
either
seeing
contract
a
us up or
I'm seeing a clip of Nate Shot's stream where he's talking about how they were not very popular on Twitch, and that had
And
something
I
to do
just
with
I
what.
just sent that tweet to Denny, by the way, too. I sent it to you on Slack. I don't know if you wanted to throw it up or whatever, but I did send it.
oh, okay. Yeah, I have notifications off on here. I'm on. So let me pick it up here.
Wow, this is
Well, you're getting hot and fresh news here on Wide World. Hot and ready, unlike Papa John's.
oh damn! You're a bad guy. You're a bad man.
Wait,
You're
what
a
did he
bad
say?
man, Denny.
He is the villain. Wait, what?
I just said you're getting your news hot and ready here about unlike Papa John's, but it's fine.
Especially you like the Papa John's crust?
Man, look,
That shit
I,
is like incomplete.
me ordering any of that stuff is like that only happens when I'm out of town because
I
Chicago
don't think
doesn't do
it's
that.
terrible. It's okay. I mean, It's the best part of the pizza with Papa John's experience. I know some people are like it's the dipping sauce, it's this, and that. I was like, I like the crust, and that's really it. I mean, all pizza is good when it's warm and done properly. So, but it's not anything extravagant.
So yeah, it's really weird. I'm reading some of Frost's tweets about this too, because this is obviously breaking news, and we're trying to hit it here. Um, it really sounds like they were never given an opportunity to succeed. Like they couldn't even afford the house they were living in. Their
Yeah, you
internet
told me that
wasn't
you couldn't pay
adequate.
rent.
Yeah,
Like,
couldn't pay rent, and their internet wasn't even fast enough to stream. They were having issues with it.
oh
So
wow.
like, yeah, but at the same time, like, gamer houses are bad.
I have not
They
seen any
suck.
success coming from any of that situation in most cases, outside of like certain scenarios where like it's you level up, but if you're under an actual org, no.
Gamer houses can end poorly, just to say the least. Sky Williams' house, for instance. I know Sky has been exonerated of a lot of the things that happened in his house, but they did happen in his house.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
definitely there's situations where you're like, is any of this worth it? While you're out here, sharing spots on the floor and stuff. I don't. That never made sense to me for any video game. Like I just that
There's
concept
no
doesn't
game
work
good
for
enough for
me.
me to sleep on the floor.
well, you could have slept on the floor this weekend.
I know it almost happened. It literally almost.
Yeah,
And the
I don't
only
want to.
reason why I found out an hour before the car ride that we were three to a room. Had I known a week ago, I would have told them hell to the no.
Now, I don't want to throw anyone I've worked for under the bus, but I'll just say that I've attended like almost 20 E3s. I think it was my first one. It was the year 2000. We were a very small website,
Mhm.
and it was like part of a network of sites. They put 6 people in a 2-bed hotel room.
Like, excuse me.
I
Here's
beg
what
your
I
pardon.
did. Here's what I did. There was a pool there. I slept in this California in the summer. I slept by the pool. I grabbed a pillow and I just went and slept by the pool. That was my strat. But yeah, not so it's not uncommon to be mistreated like that. But I did end up crashing outside because I don't want. I'll tell you off stream who was in that room. But yeah, there were people there. I was just like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna go sleep outside.
I know
Literally
that bathroom rotation must have been
a
well.
nightmare. It was just yeah, exactly like anything. There was one bathroom for 6 people. This was also the same E3 where I beat people in F-Zero X for money.
Oh wow.
I was playing money matches in F-Zero X at
Was,
that same
was, was,
hotel.
was making it happen.
Hell yeah. I made a little scratch on the side. And we crashed a Nintendo party because there were Nintendo E3 parties. It's
Yeah,
a
it's
different
saying
Yeah.
time.
that that one Nate Shot clip is already at nearly 150,000 views, and it's only been up for the past 45 minutes.
Yeah, I'm looking at
So
the one
there's
from
a
Dexerto.
Yeah.
He doesn't really seem to be denying anything other than the fact that they didn't. He's claiming that they didn't make money, and that's why they didn't get paid. But it sounded like the claim from the other side is that they landed some sort of $200,000 deal and they only got 5% of that money. So yeah, my guess is that Nate Shot's lawyers, because you know he has lawyers, they wrote a really ironclad contract, and the mob dudes probably didn't read it.
Oh, you know they didn't read it.
You
There's
know,
no way they read that.
so I feel bad because content creators are being hosed again, but I also don't feel bad because you got to read those papers you sign,
yeah.
and
I mean, if you want to treat something like a business, that comes down to being on top of your business.
people are not lawyered up at all in the scene at all. So like they get abused like this, you know. It happens, and it's more of a it kind of highlights the business side of this industry, and it's really shitty.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it goes back to gamer houses kind of suck. Like I've never understood it. If and look, I get the aspirational nature of everyone wanting to live in LA or San Francisco or whatever, Vegas, and like getting together, you can pool your assets to pay for your rent. But like if none of you can afford to live there, like it's eventually going to catch up to you, and I think it did. I didn't really. I don't know if I'm out of touch or I just don't give a shit about this stuff. I had never heard of the mob before. Obviously, heard of Nate Shot and 100 Thieves before, but like, who the hell was the mob? Tilted seemed to know who they were, and he said they were kind of toxic. And if you believe what Nate Shot said, which I doubt he would lie about their concurrent views, like they weren't pulling much more than we are when it comes to concurrent views. Uh, oh, they play Fortnite. That explains everything.
Okay, well now we got some
Well,
context.
Never mind.
that'll
But
do
no,
it.
Fortnite teams can make serious money if they actually make it to the esports side of things. But if you're just
Yeah,
content creators,
it sounds like they're brokering the content creator side. This is a whole different
yeah,
ball game than winning
that's not
tournaments. Like you gotta have a whole different set of skills to make that happen in the long run.
Wow. Insanity. Really quick. Let's pay some bills. Let's do some ads really fast, if possible.
I don't want to pay any bills.
I know. I'm sorry. I just actually paid rent at one location. I'm getting ready to pay rent at the second location today, so I'm right behind you. I don't want
See,
to.
look at him. He's in 2 gamer houses.
Well, there are houses where there happen to be gamers that live there, but we're not creating content together. And I have a bed and a
with that
room.
legal spiel.
How many smart fridges are in these places?
None.
How much
None.
Soylent?
There is.
Aha!
There was a case of Soylent here. One of the roommates that moved out left it. We did have Soylent here for a while. And dude,
Are you in
Soylent is
Jersey?
not.
Are you in Jersey right now?
I am in
Don't
Jersey.
you tap dance for Soylent right now. I'm gonna stop
No,
you
it's
before
not.
you even
I
do.
don't like it. I don't
Okay,
like
of course
Soylent.
you don't like it. No one likes it. It's terrible.
My man said
not
he,
good.
he doesn't like it. Like that wasn't common knowledge.
Breaking,
I had it for
we
the
need a
first
new
time.
breaking news logo. Breaking news.
Breaking
Rod
news.
doesn't like Soylent.
Local man finds out he doesn't like Soylent. Yo, I had it for the first time at Esports Arena Oakland. They had just opened up and they were doing a thing, and I'm like, all right, what's this? Oh, it's called Soylent. I'm like, what is this? It's like a meal replacement drink. It's like blah blah blah. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll tap dance a little bit. Let me have some. And I had it, and I was just like, oh, what the fuck? Like, this is not real food. I was like, and they were like, no, this is real. You can eat this. I said, just because you can put things in your stomach doesn't make it food. I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah, see, Rod was coming out of the esports arena, like the Matrix, and pulling the tube out of his throat, full of Soylent fluid. It was keeping him alive
man.
there, sustaining him throughout the weekend.
Okay, well, based on the lack of smart fridges in your houses, how many gamer chairs?
I think everybody has one but me.
Were they free?
No. Max is probably the most prominent esports person in his house. Everybody
Did he
else
freeze?
is like,
This is the perfect time for a freeze. Did you both freeze?
Did I freeze?
You look good to me.
Am I frozen?
No, I can
We're all
hear you
good
and
on
see
my
you.
end.
I can see
I
you.
can't hear you.
Oh, see, they're trying to
I
get
see you
us
guys
out
on
of here.
stream, but yeah.
Soylent
Hold on,
was
I'll be
like,
right
you're
back.
doing too much slander here. Soylent
wait
said
a
no.
You guys,
All right.
Soylent on Discord.
Soylent's joined the server.
Soylent,
No.
like we have to stop Asif now. Our share price is plummeting.
Max is the only guy who I think he paid for his. The other two guys may have got them like as Christmas gifts, and then I just have whatever his grandparents left. So I have like this wooden chair behind me. But yeah,
So they were paid for?
yes, they were
Okay.
paid for.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. You are
Yeah.
not in a gamer house. I have judged that you are not in a gamer house.
No, not at all. Because there's not enough content being created either.
Also,
I mean,
like,
obviously,
who the hell would build a gamer house in New Jersey?
yeah. I mean, you're asking for people not to come over. Like nobody, like we game here. Like people come over, we play like fighting games all night, but like no content is ever created. So
You know what I'm saying? Like, gamer houses are in SoCal. Some of them are in NorCal. But, like, Jersey?
I mean,
And then no one has taken a gamer house in
Illinois,
Nebraska.
got some FCC houses out there.
That's true.
Shout out to Bum. Bum
That's
had
good.
to change his stream. Had to change his stream name for some of the tournaments out there because they weren't.
They're attracting the
Twitch
wrong
ready.
group of people.
But yeah, there's definitely some. FGTV house was a big one on the West Coast for a while. But plenty of people leveling up. But sharing like 6 people to a room that ain't that still ain't happening.
No, that's never.
I've been in gamer houses, man, where I just am like, so you guys don't have any furniture at all. Like, okay.
Just
But yeah,
dreams.
yeah, look, they do they're grinding. So it seems like Nate Shot was quick to respond to this, so I don't think that I sincerely doubt that there's any legal action that's going to come his way because he probably has, uh,
It
let's
sounds
just
like
say
a
I was working
reputation
on,
type of deal, maybe. Like, like you guys signed this and
yeah.
you ain't
Well,
read
there's
the
also
fine
this.
print.
I was working on contracts last year for something I won't disclose because whatever. But the lawyer that I was working with kept putting this note on the margin CYA, and I
Uh-huh.
was like, why does my lawyer keep saying see ya? So I'm on the call with them the next week, and I'm like, why do you keep saying see ya? And they're like, that's an abbreviation. I was like, for what? They're like, cover your ass. I was like, oh.
Yeah, you
Shit.
have to
Okay.
cover that one right there. Have
There
So
you go.
all
like,
I'm saying is that Nate Shot probably has some really good lawyers too that
I
use the
mean,
SIA approach and
yes, I'm learning
uh
something new here on the stream.
Well, I got the picture.
Right, we're gonna put that in my head for later on.
SIA, cover your ass. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I had no idea what that meant. Obviously I hadn't done a whole lot of work with lawyers up until last
Mhm.
year. But yeah, I'm sure Nate Shot has very good lawyers, and as does 100 Thieves. So I have a feeling this is going to prove to be inexperienced content creators being taken advantage of legally, which
I think
happens
so.
all the time in esports, and it sucks. But
Yeah, it happens all the
that's
time in
it.
general too. All the people asking you for affiliate offers, and maybe we just do 3 pieces of content and we'll pay you in 6 months.
Hmm.
But
Yep.
a lot that's running around. Everyone wants to kind of pursue that when they're, a lot of folks are coming out of like either college or they're currently in school or they've got the kind of free time to kind of make some kind of opportunities happen. They
Hmm.
get some people together. They're like, look, we can make some things happen here. And
Yeah,
then they're fielding offers without actually reading through them or having any kind of lawyer present or anyone that has any kind of idea of what they're signing up for. And
Yep.
next thing you know, you're in some exclusive contract that kills your dreams in the
my
long run.
Discord is cutting out again.
Uh-oh.
But this gives us
Soylent
time,
Boys.
to show some love here because we got some time for some little promo, little plug time for ourselves.
You
What
go.
we do here at Shacknews.
I'm back, I think.
Back.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, we see you.
Something.
The Soylent Boys will not keep Asif down. They're trying.
Yeah, I feel like the silent people are outside of my house, like just like twisting my cable or something.
He's just getting too close.
You better watch out. You might get Ludwig out here. You better watch out. The Soylent people might try to come and get you, man.
I am in the
Um,
hundred. I'm in the 100 Thieves gamer house, losing
But
my internet.
instead of being like the Solent folks and following Asif outside of his house, you can follow us directly on social media and on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. We got plenty of awesome content coming up fairly soon. It's worth checking out. Gonna be
yes.
put up some cool videos. Of course, quality content from across the interwebs with some big releases coming out, and the boy Greg is always doing some big things on YouTube. And of course, we also have plenty of staff hitting out the PAX West this week as well. So if you want to see some of that awesome PAX content, from the show floor, some exclusive games and such, come through for some of that content too.
Hmm. Yeah. Be sure to lock in with us. We do great work over here on all forms of social media, like Denny said. I mean, Twitter. I know I made some tweets earlier and I said some things about how whack Twitter is. And Twitter is whack, but you can follow us. We're in that corner of Twitter that isn't whack. All right. We're the cool guys. So come
Yeah,
kick it
there's
with
a
us at
percentage
Shack
that's
News.
not terrible.
That's
Don't
right.
don't believe what Elon says. So
Yeah.
there's at least some percentage that's not completely useless.
That's
If you
right.
believe what Twitter said recently, there is an alarming amount of spam bots that would damage the company's value if it was made public. That's what they claim. So I'm guessing there might be like 800 million freaking bots on the platform. But we are not one of them. We have original content that goes up all the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're even on Facebook, where we have Killer Clowns from Outer Space trailers that have been viewed by way too many human beings.
Yeah, Killer Clowns,
That's true.
man. It is multiplayer, so there is a chance that maybe down the line we're gonna have to hop on that.
A little big team building. I'd be down.
Yeah, if that game
Yeah.
drops at the right time, Halloween's coming up.
Hmm.
It'd be a good opportunity. But yeah,
Yeah.
we also
Well,
have Shack Pets,
oh,
which
hell
is
yeah.
an awesome way to unwind after a long Monday. You can hop on, share a few pictures of your favorite pets, and it's unlimited. So you have the opportunity to put up as many photos as you want of your pets, make some new buddy friends as well, or you can go head to head and challenge other folks' pets and say, hey, my pet is cuter. Get those swipes in. It's definitely worth your time, and it's free on both
Yep.
Android and iOS devices. So yeah, hop on that Shack Pets and give it a try today.
And if for some reason you're a monster who doesn't like dogs, you can just filter it and just view cats on the platform. So if you just want to see the latest cats uploaded to the platform, you can do that. If you're a dog fan, you can do that. If you like all animals like me, you can just sit there and absorb all of them. I
Yeah, equal
broke the buddy
opportunity.
feature. I added so many buddies that I broke the feature. But
Nice.
hopefully tomorrow it'll be fixed. We'll see. Uh, but yeah, I accidentally won a couple days last week. Um, Yesterday, we'll get to it later in Cortex Corner. But yeah,
Yeah.
did we have? Was there another esports story we were going to talk about?
Well,
There is.
we still have a pretty big one. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's right. So this next one here was brought to my attention in the Slack. Now, this here is former adult star Adriana Chechik, I believe I'm saying that right, has stated that Epic Games has denied her involvement in the Twitch rivals Fortnite no build event. That's right. That good old vanilla Fortnite that we've all been talking about and waiting for. They have denied her because of her past involvement in the adult film industry. Now, I feel like, sure, like they're making a claim that she's obviously a porn star and this is an event, there's going to be children and stuff watching. But this isn't fair, though, because if I'm not mistaken, Mia Khalifa made a pretty seamless transition over into the esports space. I'm saying seamless in quotes because, of course, incels and dumb gamer men are still going to be dumb gamer men, but she was still able to compete and do things. Same with Mia Malkova. I'm pretty sure her and Slasher had a talk show together for a while, and she was doing she did the Mizkif game show as well, which I know isn't backed by like Epic Games, but they were able to transition, but Adriana can't. And I thought
But
this was a
also,
little
like,
unfair.
how many women and men on the platform have OnlyFans that they promote on stream? Like a
Very
lot.
true.
I heard that she was also being punished for what she was wearing on stream.
Well,
But
there's two different things there because we have both
yeah,
the Epic Games side of things and the Fortnite tournament, and then we have the
yeah,
direct Twitch ban,
yeah.
which is also in play here. So both are happening pretty much in I want to say like a day or so between each other.
Hmm. Yeah.
So it was a
Yeah.
pretty quick turnaround between the two incidents. But I guess we can dive into the actual esports side first here because of the Fortnite tournament involvement, in which she said she was part of the event and everything else, and then found out that she wasn't going to be able to participate. Only a couple hours before the event was due to happen.
Mhm.
And she is a Twitch partner. It's not like she is
Yeah.
not certified by Twitch in general on that end or a content creator. And I actually have seen her streams because she actually plays a lot of Souls content.
Yeah.
Like she'll do like Dark Souls and Bloodborne and such. A lot of the harder games. She'll play through them. Over several days or weeks or whatever. So she does do direct gaming and content creation on that end. So it's not like it's a situation where some folks might
Yeah.
try and challenge what she's actually doing on there. Is there a hot tub involved or whatever? No, I've seen her playing like Demon Souls and such
Yeah.
on stream.
Yeah. I
With
think
no
it's
issue.
a little unfair to her. Now, I understand, her and the being in a children's game and blah blah blah. But where do we draw the line? Because I'm looking at
Fortnite, I can tell
like
you,
Austin said.
Fortnite is very prude when it comes to their image. Certain things, you know how they have that area where they can show trailers and movies now inside of Fortnite. Like there's that like they did that. I can't remember what trailer it was, like for the Inception guys movie or whatever the hell it was called. Um, that's why I'm not on Pop Goes the Culture. But anyway, they're like super particular about what is involved with their brand, and they're almost puritanical when it comes to that.
Yes.
So they have the right, I guess, with this agreement to be part of Twitch Rivals to say yes or no. Epic has apparently apologized. Well, that's even weirder. Because
Because now you're
like,
basically just saying, I'm sorry, but, it's like, I'm sorry, but, as opposed to, it doesn't seem sincere.
It makes you wonder, like, where is the decision coming from? Because someone
Well,
approved for her to be part of the event initially.
mhm.
So either you're not checking out the content creators that are involved, or someone higher up said that they don't have an issue, and then it became an issue when someone else found out. It seemed like
Yeah.
there was a chain of command that got, you know, either usurped or involved in some way to make those kind of changes.
Yeah, I just don't think it's entirely fair. And I say that because, I see the type of stuff that is allowed on the Twitch platform, and some of these other tournaments just in general. Like, she's obviously not the only one from the adult film industry trying to transition over into I don't really know what to call this Twitch Rivals thing, the esports content creator, gamer space thing. Like, it's kind of one big culmination, but she's not the only one. But because she's the most famous, or allegedly, according to her stats, she's like the number one porn star, which I was not aware of. I think it's just a little unfair. She
there's
just has
tier
more
lists.
eyes.
Wait, there's a tier list for porn stars now.
I mean,
I
there's
only know that
definitely
because
like an
I got on
OnlyFans
YouTube.
rating, I'm sure, because they have like the percentages or whatever.
Rod's just
Well, no,
digging
look,
himself a hole here.
look at this. I'm on YouTube. Oh, you can't see. I'm on YouTube, and I looked her up, and it says number one porn star. So, I mean, at one point in time, people were addressing her as this, courtesy of the
The
Pillow Talk
MVP,
YouTube channel.
the
Well,
pillow talk.
I think I know what my first power rankings will be, guys.
uh-oh.
No,
God.
let's not. Let's not.
I did manage to find the actual apology here, so let's see
Yep.
what they actually said.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same thing that Tilted Tom posted in chat.
It says, we're so sorry this happened. The request to Twitch Rivals was to work with you to remove adult references from your stream's background due to our game's rating. We have no issue with you participating in events or streaming Fortnite. So I guess
So
they're saying
it's just, yeah. It'd be like if this poster here was like a naked chick, I would have to take it down in order to be a part of Rivals.
but why would they not communicate that before removing her from the event?
Well, Twitch is just captains of communication, right?
Oh, yeah.
So like I'm sure Epic said this to Twitch, right? I'm sure they're not lying here. Twitch read that and they're like, it's easier just to tell her no. So they were
Yeah,
just like,
that's a mess. Like, why though would you even go that route in the first place when she can clearly take something off her shelf?
Yeah, I mean, there are TikTokers with more suggestive content than what she is doing when she's streaming. Now, obviously, she's just streaming. She's not actually at work, whatever. So I just don't think
There
it's
was
right. And
also
I know
there
that
was the communication that like when this happened, the kind of feedback that was happening at the same time was ridiculous. Like the way people were talking about this in general, about how like I saw folks saying that Twitch's main audience was children, and that none of this content should be shown, and et cetera, et cetera. Like that because of her being a porn star, that means that that they shouldn't be supporting any of this anyway, and good on Fortnite and et cetera. Because I'm like, you guys are, I don't know what you're smoking, but
yeah.
Twitch has never been a children's site. Right?
no.
Like, first off,
No,
let's just start there.
not at
Second
all.
off, before you even click on any of these, streams in general, there's a big old screen that will pop up and say, hey, this is 18 plus. You have to accept before you go any further. And so that comes back to parenting. If
Yep.
your child is going from watching Minecraft and Splatoon 3, and then suddenly they're up at 2 a.m. watching a porn star stream horror games, and play Demon Souls, in the middle of the night, is that supposed to be the streamer's fault for playing under the right category into the right
No.
audience?
No.
And we talk so much about gaming and how, especially Twitch, prides itself on this platform is here to bring people together. Gaming has brought people together who have never have met and blah blah blah. That's like, okay, so we've heard these age old tropes and these weird narratives forever. So you want everybody to come through, but then you want to pick and choose who can and can't. Now, obviously, there are some horrific ass things that we have seen pop up on Twitch in the last so many months, years. I don't need to go into details about that. But somebody who's clearly not at work, she's just streaming, just playing games like the rest of everybody, and she's partnered. So it's quite obvious Twitch has given her some sort of silver proof. She didn't just pop up overnight. And obviously she has her type of audience there to support her, but now she can't compete. And then I've seen other streamers who have OnlyFans that kind of derive in similar content as Adrian, and I'm like,
Yeah, like,
there's a bit of favoritism here.
and
I mean, plenty of
I'm not
streamers have
saying no one should be
OnlyFans,
allowed.
but
Yeah, I'm not
you
saying
can't
like
put
no
it
one
on.
should be allowed.
You can't put it on Twitch as far as like promoting OnlyFans. You can't do that
But
directly anymore. I remember
but
when it first was a thing, people
but
were
you
getting away with
see it.
that for a little while. But yeah,
You,
it still gets through.
there's a real easy workaround, Denny. It's like you don't mention it, but you're like, hey, check out my fans site, and
Or you
everyone
can be
knows
like, well,
where.
you know where I'm going after the stream. You guys know you can
Yeah,
find me.
you can all chat with me on my fan page. You know what I mean? Like they don't say OnlyFans anymore. It's the same thing that happened on Instagram. Ladies can't say, or content creators can't say or link to OnlyFans. So that created the whole world of link trees, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like, hey, check out my link tree. Click the first link in my link tree, right? That's a very easy way to say check out my OnlyFans. So I think there've been workarounds for that, but for Twitch to act like they don't support, well, I mean, they don't support anyone, but like to act like they don't support sex workers on their platform, like they totally do.
Well,
And
in
like
this
some of
case,
their
we did
most,
see that there is a bit of a lack of support because she got banned recently afterwards.
well,
So
it's
there
when
was a
it's
bit of a
convenient.
change.
When it's convenient for them, they will support you. When it's not, then it's like, oh, okay, well, let's ban her. We'll make an example out of them. But they only make examples out of these people. Like they don't actually address the real underlying problems. And I agree with what you said, Denny. Like I feel that way about all internet. Like if you have a kid, monitor their internet behavior. Like you have to because
Yeah.
they will get into shit. They will.
Yeah,
You
just like
give them
anywhere else, like in person, or like
Mhm.
you leave a kid
Well, get
alone,
curious.
yeah.
they're gonna get into some
Same
stuff
thing.
they're not supposed to. Especially when you have friends and you've got folks at school, and then they show you something on their little phone or whatever or their tablet.
Yep.
Like the same issue is happening on YouTube as well.
Mm-hmm.
With the way that things have been going down and people watching things that they have no business watching at all, and then
Yeah.
sharing it with little Timmy at school, and then suddenly it's spreading around the entire classroom.
Yep.
Like you can't
But like
use the internet or these content sites to be your babysitter and
we
just
also
put them in
can't
front
like
of a
clutch our pearls when Amaranth's one of the most popular streamers on the
yeah.
platform. Like we can't be like, oh my god, there's a porn star that plays Dark Souls. Alert the news. It's like, no, this is just 2022 shit. Like, of course there's a porn star that plays Dark Souls. Like, good on them for wanting to expand. Like, that I don't see anything wrong with it. If this is
I
someone who
don't
wants to
either.
create video game content, let her create video game content.
It's
She's
the
not out
same as
there.
different platforms. I mean, the
Yeah.
same way that Twitch is like, hey, you can stream things on different social media now. You're not gonna hold you exclusively to just streaming on Twitch. It's no different. They're just doing
Yeah.
more adult content in their own time. It
Yeah.
doesn't involve their Twitch content. They're separate things. I
Yeah.
think people are like, "Oh my god, children! What about the kids?" And I'm like, "What? Why are you letting your children hop on here and watch whatever they want? Why are they
Yeah.
watching?"
Unmonitored.
It's
Do
an
not
easy
let your
cop out.
kids. Yeah. Do not let your kids watch Twitch unmonitored. Like
Yeah.
if they're under 13 or under 18, you really should be monitoring what your kids are doing on the internet.
Yeah, like
Like,
who's the guy who's gotten banned for every platform last week or whatever? Like, and people were talking about him getting banned from TikTok and
Mm-hmm.
YouTube and everything possible. And then
That
folks were showing
he's like
videos of
he's like a men's right activist or some
yeah.
bullshit.
And then
Yeah,
someone showed like a clip of like some little kid quoting him because he's
yeah,
like, "Oh yeah, he showed up on my TikTok feed," and I'm like, "Yeah, now you've got some little, you know, men's nationalists coming out here talking
yeah.
crazy
Oh God.
at 7 years old because someone's not watching their phone time."
Yep.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, I have a best friend. She has a child who's fifth, sixth grade. I don't even think he's allowed on the internet, and if he is, like, she's heavily monitoring what he does. I mean, let's be real. Us as millennials, like, we grew up a little bit with the internet, depending on how old you were, and like, there are times where we just all got curious. Like, hey, I know this machine in the house a lot better than my parents do. Let's see shit that like my parents told me the world was a nice place. Let's actually see if they're telling the truth. And you look
Mm-hmm.
up crazy shit and you see how wild people actually are, and it does stuff to you. And parents just need to monitor a little bit better. I think she has the absolute right to play video games and to create content. Now, of course, if this is a contractual thing between Twitch and Epic Games, and of course they can get picky, but Twitch, if you're listening to this, you know that you have not been playing fair these last so many years with, of course, putting people of color on the front page, how you favor, certain content creators with certain so many million subscribers that, other people don't have, how you have banned certain
I
people
mean,
for
where is our
life for
front page
doing the
time at?
same
Tell
things.
me that, Twitch.
Yeah, when is
Right.
Shacknews gonna get a little front page?
You know, I
Yeah.
need
Do I
the
have to
next.
book Ice Tea again and then beg you guys?
You
Because
need
when I
Shacky
booked
7
Ice
on
Tea,
front page.
I booked Ice Tea and they're like, "Oh, we'll see if we can make it work." I'm like, "So wait, you're telling me Ice Tea won't get us on the front page?" And then like 2 days later, they reply, like, "Oh yeah, we can get you front page." I'm like, "Yeah, no shit, you can't." But like, it's just this place
Yes.
is run so poorly that I'm not shocked that this happened. It sucks for her. Like she doesn't deserve any of this. And like
No.
it's a good crossover if anything. Like video games and porn are like peanut butter and jelly basically. So like let's go. But yeah, that's dumb.
I think it's
And
more upsetting that it's just a lack of communication in the causing the
yeah,
problem in the first place. It wasn't even Epic that
but that's
was
Twitch.
stopping
That
this.
is that's definitely Twitch. Like definitely Twitch's fault here. Like Epic said something, Twitch was like, we'd have to do something. So let's just not do anything.
It's
You know,
easier
like
to just dismiss her and replace her,
that's
I
what I
guess.
think happened here. And that's disappointing. Like from a content creator standpoint, like they don't treat their creators well if that's what their
That's not
default
even just
selection
like the
was.
creators, but like you don't even treat a partner well. You tell me you got a
Yeah.
partner in a
Yeah.
Twitch, sponsored event, and
Yeah.
you could even take some time out here to actually deliver a obviously easy message to make happen. She could have easily blurred the camera out if it was that serious
Mm-hmm.
before the event to make it
Yeah.
happen. That simple.
It's not hard. Seems just a little unfair, but hopefully,
Well, of
she
course
can
you
get to
think
the
it's
next.
unfair. She's number one on your tier list.
Hey, according to this YouTube channel, she's one. Now, technically, if I'm being real, I know we don't want to go down that
Oh
rabbit hole
no,
because that's
no, no.
that's a different type of news. She's not number one. But
Okay.
her work is good.
When I
She
said
knows what
each
she's
got a
doing.
different hitbox. All right.
That's right. That's right. That is
Don't make
that's
me hit you in the nose with a newspaper.
that's right. That's right. I don't want to boop on the sneak. I don't want
We're just gonna have
that.
to.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Oh, I'm in the fucking Ludwig house. You better watch out.
God.
Oh god.
Oh man. Well, I hope Adriana gets unbanned and everything back to where it should be. It's messed up that she's in this situation to begin with. Good on Epic for trying to do something about it.
Mhm.
Uh, I do, but it goes back to what I said. Epic is very puritanical about Fortnite, and they don't want anything that could damage their relationship with kids. So I think that's kind of where it was born from, Denny, is not necessarily Twitch being kid friendly, but Fortnite being kid friendly. That's like a hugely important thing for
Oh yeah, I'm
Fortnite
sure
and
for
Epic.
the brand end, but it's just
Yeah,
more so like what I'm seeing from like the community's communication after this news broke. How people
yeah.
were talking about how like of course they would make this kind of decision. Of course they
Hmm.
would make sure that this porn star. I'm like, she's been streaming for I don't know how long.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
like this is just like happening because it's a Fortnite sponsored event. No, that's not how this works. Like that's ludicrous. But I literally saw a tweet where someone was like, "Well, duh, Twitch is mainly for children," and I'm like, "Are you one of those people who's like only kids play video games or something?" And you hopped on here and
Well,
tweeted because it's just making no sense.
well, if it is just only kids, I would explain that like we have 101 concurrents right now, and there's just Tilted Tom talking to us in chat. So maybe the lurkers are kids. I don't know, but kids,
I don't.
are you watching this right now, kids? Put an F in the chat or something for Adriana Checktick's Twitch
Well,
channel.
before we get to sauce talk, I want to bring up two quick things we got on the news end. One of them I didn't have on the agenda, but it's just a quick reminder that as of right now, NEC is live. Registration is starting now. $60 for players and 30 for spectators. So if you want to head over to the East Coast and get your fighting game action in, Big E Gaming is offering opportunity to basically get your butt kicked in every fighting game possible.
That's
Registration
right.
has just started up about an hour and a half ago. So get in the early bird. Get involved if you're
An
planning on
event
getting
ran
back in the scene.
by Black people too.
Yes,
So
yes, indeed.
tap in, go
Nice.
kick it. I've never been to NEC before. It's actually one of the few fighting game, more specifically fighting game events I haven't been to. This one at East Coast Throwdown. So I'm gonna try to make East Coast Throwdown here pretty soon, even though like they don't have really anything for me to do there. But I'd like to go to that, and then of course a Big E event. So guys and gals and all my other friends, go out there and go play some video games.
You see, we need to find you a secondary game, Rob. We need to find you a fighter to get into.
I play Tekken. Tekken the World Tour for commentary is like
They're
look.
excellent. All those guys are awesome.
Yeah, I know.
They're
The second commentary group is amazing. Top notch.
It's very solid.
I do not get along with, and I don't even want to say it's like a beef or like an issue or anything, but like I am not the biggest fan of Tenno Media. I felt like I was mishandled at Evo 2019, like when it came to commentary, and it has soured my whole anything that they have anything to do with since then. Like I've been very public and open about that. Tenno, I mean, they do great work. Their production is top tier. They're like the VG boot camp of fighting games, but they just have their hands in everything, and I just personally don't get along with their guy in charge. I never have. Like I just look. I'm gonna just tell the story. Evo 2018. I was asked to finally come and commentate this. After a year of mega buses and working everything for fucking ham sandwiches, I finally get Evo 2018, the one that you were at, Austin, where everybody got up and walked away. And
Yeah, that was
I
the
get a
worst
phone
one.
call. Yep, and the worst. And they called me and said, "Rod, I want you to work Evo." And I'm like super giddy and excited. He said, "But we can't give the full whatever. We're gonna hire you for like community tier commentary, even though like I'm doing not community events." And your rate is going to be like $400, no flight, no hotel. I'm like, okay. I'm like, this is like the Super Bowl of fighting games, and I get $400 flight or no flight and no hotel. I said, is there a way you can't squeeze that in? They're like, no, we're tight on budget. We can't do it, which I know is a fucking lie because it's Evo. Okay, Evo fucking shits money. So I pull up, sleep on a hotel floor, and I book like a frontier flight where I'm basically living out of a backpack for a week. And made no money. And then one of the other guys who was supposed to commentate Smash ended up doing some other games. So they asked me to MC, which is what you see me do at Coney. And they're like, yeah, to be nice, we can throw another $100 on there for you. I'm like, gee, how about a flight home or like a room for a night? Nope. And so then 2019 rolls around, Ultimate's out, it's the new game. And I'm like, hey, why am I not on at Evo? And it's just like, oh yeah, we just didn't pick, we got our guys. And mind you, most of those people hired or canceled. And I worked 3 times the event that they all did. I worked way more, but it was just, we just got our guys. What it really was that they already got their 6-foot-tall black guy, and they didn't need another one. They needed other colors of the rainbow.
Which spicy on this episode.
I got something to say about it. So I mean, of course, I'm all for representation, but just be honest with me. You don't need another 6-foot-tall straight black man. You need diversity. Say that. But no, it was, we just got our guys and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, man. So ever since then, I've been completely done with Tenno. I don't want to do anything that they were a part of. Never. I'm over it.
Well, thankfully, Evo is under new management. So things are changing for the better.
We still need to find you a game, though.
But yeah, we
Bro.
gotta get some. Cause look, I'm telling you, right now, 2023 is shaping up like it might be one of the golden ages for fighting games. We have
I agree.
things that aren't announced yet. We got teasers from Tekken. We got
You got
NetherRealm, whatever they're
Project
doing
A.
on there. Yes,
You get into
A.
Project A, Rod. Maybe a
Like,
That's
little
true.
Project A. Maybe get a little Project A. They got money. They got 10-cent money.
by
We
then
got
we might be on
10-cent
like
money.
season 3 of Multiverses or whatever's going on. There's a lot of stuff
Oh.
happening.
Real quick, I saw this I dropped this in the news channel before we went live, or right when you guys were going live. Big Chungus may come to Multiverses.
What?
No way. Wait a minute.
Yep. Warner Brothers filed a trademark or something for using Big Chungus's likeness in a video game.
Oh my god.
Oh
So
my God.
Big Chungus may be coming to Multiverses.
Oh, I seen more. I can get it. Oh, she said I can get the. Or they said I can get the post now. Now I can get the game now.
story,
I thought Morgan was enticed to now play Multiverses because of Big Chungus.
No. They were getting the story.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
This is scary times here.
I'm telling you, that game's getting weird already. I don't know about it.
Yeah, they just added Morty to the game too. And I know we didn't really tie too much into that, but just the community is kind of at this weird spot where like some people think he's really good, and then some people think, well, he's good because he's so weird that if the right person piloted him, like Steve from Minecraft or like Ryu and Ken or something, that he would be what. And then other people's like, no, he's just another run of the mill character. I've seen his moves.
We're at a position where like there's got to be some more community events before some of that conversation is going to make any sense.
Yeah,
we had Evo, which is obviously is major, but it's time for like this community to start forming into putting together something that's going to be able to put up.
Is there any talk at Smash events about bringing Multiversus into those events?
So I think Let's Make Moves is the only one that's trying to do it right now. And I know that they have a little bit more free reign creatively to do the things that they want to do, where like other events like Genesis and stuff, they're more locked into a formula that whatever works is what we're going to keep doing.
If you're a Panda Cup event, if you're a Panda Cup event, this is a non-starter. Like, there's no way that Nintendo would want to be on the same.
Yeah, well, Let's Make Moves Miami is technically on both, and maybe it's because that they have a little bit more range being on both circuits that they can do that. But I know that the Panda Cup 100% events don't run other games besides just the two. Yeah. I'd like to see some more multiverses, but I've also been told from their official multiverses commentators that they all have in their bio, they said that they are looking to do more offline official events when the game is finished. The game is not quite finished yet, and so now they want to wait. And I know that they've released some statements saying
they said the game released. I thought
you can't ship 1.0 and tell me you're not done.
Yeah, that's not how this works.
You can't delay your game and then release it 2 weeks later and tell me your game's not. No, you shouldn't have released it. Especially with how many hotfixes they did in those first 2 weeks. Like, it was kind of ass the past 2 weeks, be honest with you.
I don't understand, like, you already had the hype from Evo.
Yeah.
And everything else set up. Like, there was no reason to rush this game out.
You could have waited till September, could have waited till October, and it would have just been this hype. But I agree with you, Danny. They need, like, before any of us judge the meta, we need to have another event where you bring all the pro players together. But who are these people that are putting Multiversus commentator in their bio?
They are, I think there's a 4 or 5 for sure. The commentators that they lean on specifically are Ajax, Aussie La Vista, Sharpie. I believe she is more of an MC, so shout out to Sharpie.
She killed it at Evo.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And Flambeau, who I want to say, and they may have used Yipes once or twice as well, but those 4 are specifically the ones that they go to the most.
I want to say Vicky was at Evo for them.
Oh yeah, and Vicky. But let me actually, you know what?
Vicky's not putting that in her bio. Vicky's like in 5 games right now. I don't know, man. Do whatever Vicky's doing. She's making that paper.
Yeah.
That's my advice to you, Rod. That's my advice to you. Vicky's doing it right.
Well, I just skim the quick news here before we switch up because we
Mhm.
gotta make sure we get out of here before Steve Tindall talks.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
But yeah, I just wanted to bring up that a positive 100 Thieves story after the news we had earlier. That it looks like they have
Yeah.
made their way to Worlds.
Yeah, they qualified for League of Legends Worlds. They're the first team to do so. And yeah, they probably live in a house that has internet that works.
Yes, not Taco Bell internet, but actual real internet.
Yeah, so good on them.
Apparently,
I
they have
can't
to get their
imagine.
asses.
Can't imagine how much left clicking they had to do in preparation for this.
Man, I'm sure there was a lot
That finger is worn out.
of
They
repetition
said
there.
It's dire times here at the Khan household. This mouse, which is maybe the worst mouse ever created, guys. I know I've shown this to you, Denny.
That looks like the from the new Metroid game from Metroid Dread.
It's like the Transformer.
It looks like it's
hiding.
gonna like come after you.
My left click is breaking. I know that is not a torture device. It's the mouse I've been using for almost 2 years, and the left click has stopped working as of basically today.
Oh my god!
It's about 2 out of 5 times that I left click that it actually works. What I'm getting at is
down Samus while you're asleep.
The fuck are those things called? I know exactly what you're talking. Are they like mules? No, that's from Death Stranding. They're like robots, though. Man, that shit was intense. I love that game. I need to go back to.
Yeah. Well, friends, let's jump into some sauce talk really quick because we definitely don't want to run over it into Steve Tendo's time. So, I put some stories in here that are definitely going to make you laugh or gag.
Emmy. They're called Emmys. EMMI.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was going to drive me nuts. You're right, though. This thing does look like if Emmy was a mouse.
It's not a very Samus thing for her to go through, too. Like, she always is.
Stories.
Yeah.
It's a bad mouse.
Well, so the first one is Oscar Mayer debuts a new cold dog as the first ever hot dog flavored popsicle.
This might be the nastiest thing I've seen on the show so far. What is this?
It says Oscar Mayer is teaming up with premium frozen desserts company Pop Bar for a debut of their new cold dog, a first of its kind hot dog flavored frozen pop. According to Oscar Mayer, the cold dog boasts both refreshing and smoky umami notes of Oscar Mayer's iconic wiener, all topped with the signature swirl of, you guessed it, mustard. You can find the cold dog at select Pop Bar locations in Long Beach, New York City, Alpharetta, Atlanta, New Orleans, for the low price, $2 while supplies last. In celebration of the cold dog's debut, Oscar Mayer's iconic 27-foot hot dog on wheels dons his icy makeover to sample the cold dogs, outfitted as a frozen pop truck. The Wienermobile, that's right, you heard that right, the Wienermobile features frosted windows, icicle-inspired decorations, and more as it travels the hot dog highways.
This entire, description of this frozen.
I feel like because people aren't going to get the importance of the cold dog.
The importance.
If I don't read it all.
Oh, wait, just to make this abundantly clear for me, because I'm very grossed out right now. Is this a hot dog or is this ice cream that's flavored like hot dogs?
Feel like you're asking too many questions, Austin. We just need to enjoy the ice.
No, this is a very important question. Because ice cream, frozen or cold, fine. That's fine. Hot dog flavored ice cream, that's cold.
It says hot dog flavored frozen pop. So this is hot dog flavored.
So putting mustard on ice cream. I've recently called mustard the apex condiment, but I don't even think mustard can fix this. This is fucking nasty. Are you gonna fuck with this, Rod?
Like we should be calling the feds on this one.
And I've eaten some I've eaten some. Whoever eats this needs to be swatted. I've eaten some strange things in my day. I don't know if I can eat a frozen hot dog flavored ice popsicle with mustard too. That's Fear Factor. That's literally get Joe Rogan on the phone.
And they got the mustard.
And we're rebooting Fear Factor.
Nails. They're just like going all into it.
Wait, don't get Joe Rogan on the phone. But you know what I meant, though.
I just wonder, insane. Like, who in the design team was like, you know what we need is we need to put together an Oscar Mayer.
Did you see the guy last week that was drinking a beer through a hollowed out hot dog?
I did not. I'm glad
What?
I'm glad I was not blessed with that kind of imagery.
I didn't bring it up to sauce talk but this reminds me of it. Like people are just out of pocket with these hot dog ideas. That's gross. They should feel bad.
Yeah. Somebody in that boardroom meeting was like, "Guys, I got it." It's like, "Yo, let's hear it, Trevor. You know, hot dogs are hot, right? What if we just made them cold?" And the other guy was like, "Yo, and they should be popsicles. Who doesn't want hot dog flavored stuff? The kids love the glizzies, don't they? They all the glizzies. We
Rod,
should just
can you
package
tell
them."
us, as the youngest person here, can you tell us when Glizzy became a thing? Because why?
I don't. So what's really funny about it, and I'm just going to speak from the perspective of like the Smash community. The whole Glizzy thing was a meme like last summer. Like it's like
Sure.
man's guzzling a Glizzy with no bev. Like he's not even drinking. Okay, and then it
And I
died.
remember H-Box being kind of at the center of it in the Smash scene, right?
And yeah, now it's back again because I took a picture of him eating a hot dog at Genesis, and then
Uh-huh.
other people did, and then they were also
Okay.
serving hot dogs everywhere in San Jose. Like, hey, this event just let out. You know, the little mom and pops. You know, the abuelas came out. You're like, hey, we're doing hot dogs. I'm like, okay, cool. Can't beat a good street hot dog. Actually, that's not true. Yes, you can, but
Almost anything is better, but yeah, okay.
yes, almost anything. Even a frozen glizzy might be better than a
No,
street hot
no,
dog.
no,
No,
Let's not go
no.
that
Has
far.
science gone
That's
too
the
far?
line. That's the line. I'd rather have a
I just
regular
like how it
Glizzy.
says that like they're gonna be serving these in like a frozen 27-foot hot dog on wheels with an icy makeover, outfitted with like. So you're telling me you're gonna have an ice cream truck basically riding
Yeah.
around serving people frozen hot dog pops
Yeah.
with mustard, and
This is
someone
why we
paid for
need a
this.
recession. This right here is why we need recessions. This kind of shit, that's how you know we've reached way too, like, these companies have too much fucking money if this is what's going on. That they're like, here's a frozen nothing. No one wanted this. No one was clamoring for this.
Nobody
And you know
wanted
what?
the cold dog.
But you know what? We're marks because we reported on it, so they got their publicity for it, and people are gonna be like, "Well, that's dumb. I'm gonna go buy a regular Oscar Mayer Weir hot dog." You know, like I think that's what's going on
You
here.
can
But
find a
like,
cold dog at select pop bar locations in Long Beach, New York City, Alpharetta, Atlanta, and New Orleans. So they got a fairly solid range there, both coasts.
that's better than that one Birmingham location from last week.
I
I was
guarantee you,
kidding.
nobody in New York is like, "Hey, yo, my guy, yo, G, I need, you know what I need? You know what I mean? I need a
I will
fucking
be
cold
shocked
dog. You know what
if
I'm
someone
saying?
in New
You know what I
York
mean?
allowed
Like,
this
I
to
need a
happen.
cold dog."
No one wants this. Like, here's my point. Sauce talk is about obviously talking about these things and telling them are bad ideas, but also occasionally, like, Yum Brands over at Taco Bell comes out with the Doritos Loco Taco, and those were legit. Those were actually
Oh,
good.
they
Like,
were good.
obviously, like, I'm not saying that the food quality was good, but it was a good idea. It worked. There were synergies. I got it. We're getting
Mhm.
to the point where it's like, in Japan, like, I don't know, let's put ice on a Whopper. No one asked for that, and no one asked for hot dog flavored ice cream either.
I just like
Shame
how it
on them.
says that it boasts refreshing and smoky flavor.
No,
Because when I want a
Refreshing
popsicle,
and smoky.
you know,
Do not need to
I
go.
want refreshing and smoky because
no.
that's exactly what you want. You
Also,
know,
mustard on ice cream. That may be the one time where it doesn't work. But then again, maybe the flavoring. Like, I don't
Well,
know.
I you know what? I actually I had a shot once at a Japanese bar, and it had mustard somehow attached to it. I can't remember what it was, but mustard was either used as like some sort of something or like a chaser or something. It was actually kind of okay. Like I could see how mustard could be, you know, used in sweeter things, but not frozen fucking hot dogs. Like people at Oscar Mayer, you should be ashamed of yourself. All right, this
Yeah.
Danny, do you have any sad, angry sound effects? They need an angry one. This
I
is
have a
insane.
sound effect for you, right?
FBI, open up!
All right, they need to come out there and put them away. All right,
Put your
for
hands
this
up.
travesty,
We
please.
got
So
him.
you know, here's a little shame for you. You know, ring the shame bell for them real
Shame.
quick. All
That
right.
is a shame
Shame.
bell. That is it. They should be
Shame.
ashamed.
Yes, because that is awful.
That's
But
terrible.
Now,
Donuts for
in better
dogs? Not
news,
so terrible. Yeah, I like this donuts for dogs.
Yeah, now this was good. Now obviously we missed it because we do this show on Mondays, but I thought just
National
because
Dog
everything
Day was on Friday, but don't worry, International Dog Day is probably coming up, or Intergalactic Dog Day is coming up. So there'll be another
Well,
day.
yeah.
that's right.
National Puppy Day
Doggy
is
donuts.
always.
Yeah. New doggy donuts, though. That's cool.
Yeah, it looks like get an opportunity for doggy donuts the first time here on the U.S. It looks like all natural ingredients inspired by Krispy Kreme donut flavors
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
and limited edition of a 6 count box. It says here, and you get
I
a
know
limited edition
there's
of red
like
bandana.
there's some sort of beverage that Starbucks will give your dog.
Really?
It's like a latte for dogs or something. I don't know. There's definitely something that Starbucks does for dogs. But yeah, this is cool. Krispy Kreme's pretty good too.
Yeah, I mean, if you
Yeah.
can find one, I mean, I am lucky enough to have one literally down the street from me, but it's a
I
dangerous
don't.
thing.
Yeah, we have like 80 Dunkin' Donuts in like a 5 mile radius from me, but not a single Krispy Kreme or a Popeyes because Canton is kind of
Yeah, the only
low
time I really
tier.
hit a Krispy Kreme is when I pass it and the sign is on. When I see that
Yeah,
hot and
Yeah.
ready is on. I'm like, you know
yeah, the
what?
hot and ready. If you hit up a Krispy Kreme around like 10:30 in the morning, it is like the greatest experience. I used to live next to one in Houston, and yeah, that was like if I had time before like on the way to school or whatever, I would be like, yeah, I'm gonna get a Krispy Kreme.
Little conveyor belt and
Puppuccino.
everything.
That's
Hmm?
it. They give a puppuccino
Puppuccino.
at
Okay.
Starbucks.
Ah,
Yeah, it's whipped
where's
cream.
that? Let me see a picture of that. This is like an actual just regular drink or something.
It's like a little cup filled with whipped cream, and
Oh, that's cute.
dogs go ape shit for it.
I believe it.
Oh,
Yeah, but I
My
don't.
dog
oh,
was
I don't
going
let
oh.
Lola.
crazy now.
I don't let Lola have people food. We have 1 minute. We should hit Cortex before
Yeah,
we
yes,
go.
yes. This is
Okay,
Cortex
sorry.
time. Let me
Uh,
pull it up here on this
sorry,
end.
Steve. Trying to.
But yeah, hey, Mikey.
Um, A Mikey won, as he tends to do. Uh, he won for the week. He put up 247,223 points. A couple of days last week, the Carnage report wasn't even generated, and then we realized that, and we ended up generating like 3 on one day. So apologize to anyone who didn't notice that, or if 8 Mikey was like, "I want my wins, damn it." Uh, the interesting thing that happened today, this morning, I won yesterday, or no, sorry, 8 Mikey won yesterday,
Oh.
but I won Shack Pets. So it was a situation where the person who won Shack Pets did not win Shacknews, which we haven't seen that very often. And it was literally a 50-point differential between me and 8 Mikey for who won Cortex. The diff, why he ended up beating me was that he won Cortex for the week, and that gave him an
Mm,
additional 1,000 points.
Oh, interesting.
So
damn.
A
without
close
him
one
winning
there.
because Sunday is when we determine who wins the week. He got that 1,000 points. That's what led to him. So it's kind of weird. We have 8 Mikey wins Shacknews for the day, Mad Dog wins Chatty for the day, and I won Shack Pets for the day. Doesn't happen very often, so I just wanted to
R
highlight that.
Cortex.
Yeah.
Strong.
I wanted to highlight that. It does highlight the power of Cortex, also the power of reading articles.
Yeah.
8 Mikey had 10 points from reading articles. Obviously, I had 15. And then yeah, I didn't really have any chatty points. I had 2 lol points, and yeah, I had my 500 from winning the day before too. But yeah, it's just interesting. Me and 8 Mikey are kind of locking horns here. Uh, he still put up a shit ton for the week though, and yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it's we're in the
still
ring
out
for
there.
this week.
He's still out there. He's killing it for everyone. Yeah, new pet
Still,
joined the
hey,
ranks.
remember, I'm out there.
New pet joined the ranks this week, named Pippi. It's a 4-year-old pure breed mini fox terrier who loves sniffing games and food.
Hmm.
You know
No.
that new game smell?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I'm sure it probably smells better than a new dog smell, but it's still pretty good. But yes, this has been an awesome edition of Wide World of Electronic Sports. I'm glad all of you were able to join us for this episode, and hopefully we'll see you all again for the next one. You guys have anything you want to say to people before we get out of here?
Yeah, retail therapy is coming soon again, of course, and we're also working on some adjustments here for the Wide World show. So,
Yes,
of course,
sir.
all of our loyal viewers, be prepared for some changes, some good changes. Okay, I mean, how the format's going right now is good, but guess what? Things can always be better. But yes, giveaways coming soon as well to retail therapy. I got a whole bunch of Pokemon stuff here that I am ready to give away that I found out here. It took me a long time to get this. I got to go all the way to Long Island to find stuff. So be prepared. You got to tune in with us at Shacknews, okay? Retail Therapy's schedule has changed. 2 Wednesdays a month. We got rid of the Saturday programming. We want to make sure we're prime time so that way you can tune in and hang out with us.
Nice. Yeah, we're gonna have a big Wednesday with Shack News. There's Apple's event next week. Not, I wouldn't say this week, but next week. GameStop's reporting earnings. So if you want to tune in to their conference call, we'll be covering it here on our Twitch channel.
Yeah, good
And yeah,
times.
just head over to shacknews.com to keep up with all the latest news around the Apple event. New iPhones, new iPads, new Macs, maybe some Apple TV news. Probably not a VR headset, but maybe. We'll see what happens.
We have a pretty
It's
big
always
week here too, with PAX West on the horizon.
yeah,
Everything's going down.
Mm.
So
lots of stuff happening. And I'm sure there's a Smash tournament that I've forgotten about that's happening this weekend.
Yeah, there's actually it's at the PAX event. So yeah.
of course.
I know we didn't really mention it, but Splatoon had their first Splatfest this weekend, and I believe Rock won. It was rock, paper, scissors. I believe Rock. So congratulations to everyone who
Strong
played
choice.
with the Rock team. Yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's all we got. We got Steve Tendo coming up next.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what he is playing. I usually like to let the folks at home know. It looks like he's finishing up the Minish Cap still. So he's going to be streaming some Wii U goodness. Because
Nice.
everyone
That's
knows
right.
the Wii U was the best console ever made.
We love
It's
to
one
see
of
it.
them.
Yeah. Well, all right, guys. Thanks for joining us for this episode, and we hope to see you again next week. But stay tuned for Steve Tindall. It's going to be starting up very shortly here in just a moment. See
See
y'all
you
again
guys.
soon, and peace out.